grego, e agora eu fui top 8 no College League, do lado do NA também. Tô agora mais treinando um pouquinho a segunda divisão da LCS, tô aqui em Portugal, e eu vou ajudar aí vocês com a tradução aqui do que o SeeEl pensar sobre o jogo. A gente vai trocar uma ideia também como coaches, né? Que a gente se conhece desde a época que o SeeEl treinava a FlyQuest, eu treinava a All Night, a gente já trocava uma ideia. E aí vamos tentar trazer para vocês a visão dele e a minha também nessa final. That's it.
Okay, awesome. So thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, Halia, I need your help with like just when I like explain the game, you can do it in Brazilian too. That'd be really cool. I just wanted could you explain to them that I just wanted to thank them for all the support. Obviously, I don't know what my future is going to be, right? But I always like to reciprocate. If people look after me, I want to look after them. And I thought it'd be really fun content if CBLOL had analysis from the LEC, like someone like outside of Brazil, kind of giving them their opinion about the game, you know?
Ele falou que ele agradece muito a todo o carinho que tem recebendo de vocês nas redes sociais e que ele quer muito trazer esse conteúdo diferente de alguém de uma outra região profissional, né? No caso, ele foi campeão da LEC ano passado, né? De trazer essa visão de uma outra região dessa final do CBLOL para trazer esse conteúdo para vocês.
Yeah. Obrigado. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's go on to paiN Gaming vs Loud. So
do you mean to bring an important context that is on the game itself, even before the draft?
Absolutely.
Because what happened? paiN and Loud, like they make the last probably for the last 4 finals, they make the last 3 of them. Okay, and the point is in the whole 3 finals, Loud game smashed 3-0. There was even a meme of 9-0 towards. So this one was like the last call of this cycle of players from paiN game, because they're together for like 2 years almost, to try the comeback and show that they can beat Loud. So there's a lot of pressure on it. So for us, we are coaches, we know that this recent past will impact a lot the mental of the players in this crucial moments, and this will affect the whole series. There's not just a simple final. There is this whole different environment because of their recent rivalry that grow by the both teams.
So I do have to kind of I don't know if I should say sorry or if I should be proud of it, because I'm sure there's some Loud people here as well. But in 2020, can you explain this to them? Basically, I met Croc in 2020, and he had come from a 2-year retirement because of a wrist injury. And I thought he was a really good player. So I actually brought him back to the pro scene.
Oh, nice. Ele falou o seguinte. Say, finish.
And I heard that paiN lost three times.
O que ele falou que basicamente foi o seguinte, que ele já conheceu o Croc mais ou menos em 2020, assim, quando ele tava de uma certa apostadoria devido a uma lesão bem séria que ele teve no punho, e ele ajudou ele a voltar para a cena profissional. E aí que disse que ele ficou feliz e chegou a acompanhar um pouquinho o Croc desde que ele voltou.
So obviously Croc went to Brazil because he's good, not because of me. But I think he got the opportunity to show how good he was, you know, and apparently it's been a very big pain point for the paiN fans.
People are saying so that because Croc is considered the best import by far in the history. So the chat are saying, so it's your fault that we lost it's your fault. Ele falou,
so me and Croc still talk here and there, but he's a very good player. Anyway, let's get into the game, yeah? Let's get into the game.
Let's go.
Okay, so do you want to start with the analysis, what you think, and then maybe I'll give my opinion so far? So this is the draft, and then just let's start with draft.
The draft or okay. About the draft, paiN Gaming have like a more pattern style, like they play a slow macro, punishing the enemy mistakes and starting to snowball towards it, and like playing the basic of the league. They are the best in the region, in that draft to show this. But Loud, they have 2 factors that's quite important that also reflect in their draft. First, they know how to play losing. So in their draft, they always gonna have at least one late game win condition. And if they start to lose the game, they won't desperate, and they know how to play towards this win condition. That would be like a Zeri or on a Victor mid, or even a strange pick on top, because Robo can play many things. There is all of this. And they pick champions that like have to be really strong about pulling the trigger at the right time and ever commit. So they play Rakan has a secondary engage with an engaged jungler or engaged top laner. They always do like this kind of draft with a primary engage really solid and a second engage has Cells. Cells is the best support in the history in CBLOL, like by far. And he's really good at it. Cells is the kind of the guy like when you see the team fight, oh, my team win my team win the team fight. Nice. Let me check how it goes. And you see the Cells participation, like, my God, no mistake at all.
Yeah, so I will explain, and can you like kind of translate for me after?
Yeah, sure.
So the way that I view is like, without seeing the background behind the games, a draft tells a story. A draft tells a story of what each team is thinking, what they prioritize, and what style they prefer. Okay, so what I see from this pick ban is, first of all, paiN Gaming think that Kai'Sa, LeBlanc are the most OP champs in the game, right? And they think that Nico is a really good answer into Azir. So when Nico's out, Azir is the best mid laner. This is what the story is telling me. And I think kind of the thought process is, if Loud take Azir away, they'll play something like either an Akali or an Ari or some sort of like engaged champ to go with the Poppy to play early 2v2s. This is what I'm seeing. So what paiN Gaming do is, okay, there's 3 mid bans from our side. Enemy team has banned Tristana, Jax, and Ivan. Oh, actually, paiN Gaming can also play Jace. And so if their enemy take Azir. So what they're saying is, okay, well, the most OP AD in the patch with Kai'Sa Flex gone is going to be Xayah. And so we're going to take the Xayah away. And even if the enemy team take Rakan, they don't have Xayah Rakan, and we'll get support counter. So that's why we take Xayah. That's what paiN is saying. Whereas what Loud is saying is, okay, we don't want to give you guys Xayah Rakan. We think Xayah Rakan is really OP. As a theme, our team works really well with engage and finding opportunities, because I know Croc as a player. He's really good at finding early game fight, right? So he wants to pick something that is low tempo, can match on the map, and do many things, and also create a strong top side. Because you can pick combos like Sejuani, Renekton, Sejuani. Thank you so much for the prime time. I appreciate it, LOL. So what you can do is create combos like Renekton, Sejuani, right? And make the top side strong as well. So this is what I'm seeing, Jack Sejuani. And so what paiN Gaming now say is, okay, you guys took the Rakan away from us, but we get support counter. And we also can match your jungle tempo with Poppy, right? Because Poppy can also skip camps and match Sejuani on the map. So if you guys want to make a play on the map, we'll match you. And then because all the mids are gone, we're going to take the best mid available with all the mids banned, since you guys didn't take a mid. And then we're going to take Azir. And I'm also assuming that Sejuani is really high prior in this series. So what Loud had to decide here was if they wanted Azir second or Sejuani second. And so what paiN Gaming are saying is, okay, you can take the best jungle, I'll take the best mid, and, you know, I will have an 80 carry. I have the best 80 carry, but you'll take away the Rakan, so it'll be less better. And then Loud answer by saying, okay, you guys pick Poppy, that's really good against engage, because you can disengage. So we'll pick Xerath, who outranges both Azir and Xayah, because Xerath has longer range, 1450 range. So that's kind of the thought process. I think that's what happened. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
It was long.
Ele falou... Ok, I resume shots, ok.
Yeah.
Porque ele falou que basicamente o que ele consegue ver é que todo draft conta uma história, tá? E nesse caso ele diz que a paiN tá considerando a Kai'Sa e a LeBlanc os campeões mais fortes que tem. E como teve o ban de Tristana também no headside, eles resolveram pegar o AD mais forte, que é a Xayah. Nisso, ele consegue ver aqui que a Sejuani parece ter uma prioridade muito grande na série, porque eles pegaram Sejuani no blind e tiraram o Rakan da Xayah. E nisso, a paiN, para querer jogar em um pouco mais de low tempo, eles pegam a Pop, que é um campeão que segura muito bem, é bom contra Sejuani, é bom contra Rakan desses engages de mobilidade. E o Azir, que com a Nico fora, se torna o mid mais relevante desse patch. E ele, então, tipo, eu tô resumindo bastante, tá? E ele falou o quanto isso conta mostra como os dois times veem. E aí eu vou adicionar agora uma parte minha. Now I did one part of mine, em português e then tell in English. E realmente eu senti que a Sejuani foi uma parte muito importante desse draft, porque se vocês forem ver aqui no final do draft da Loud, eles pegam o Sejuani só com 1 melee pra jogar. A passiva da Sejuani é basicamente ignorada nesse draft, mas eles consideram que é um pick tão importante que não tem problema você jogar a Sejuani só com 1 melee, que no caso é o Rakan. Porque mesmo que tenha o Nar, que eles vão ter depois, o Nar não é aquele campeão que você vai ficar dando outro ataque pra você procar a passiva. Então eles consideram o Sejuani um pick tão forte, ainda mais depois do nerf do Mokai no 13.15, de que você pode blendar. What I said was, I agree with you, especially about the part of Sejuani being high prio, because if you check after this draft, they're going to have only one melee that will be Rakan. The passive of Sejuani will be almost useless on this game, because they're going to have three ranges and only one melee that is Rakan, because now it's not the champion that will be proccing her passive, right?
Yeah.
They'll have attack for this. So in his Maganar form, but they value Sage so much even more after the nerf from Maokai, the kill from his clear path, that they prefer to guarantee it and play it regardless have the combo to crack her passive.
So without Jax, without Renekton, they still think Sejuani's OP. That's
Yes.
good. That's the vibe I get. Something I really need you to explain to the viewers in draft, they are telling a story. What they're saying is, okay, we have Xayah Azir. We want to play front to back. We want you guys to come into us. You guys picked Rakan and Sejuani. So Rakan and Sejuani need to come into us so we counter your comp. This is what they're saying. And what Loud is saying is, haha, but it was a Joker card. We'll pick Xerath, and we don't have to go into you because we have long arms. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Ele falou também basicamente que assim, que a história que conta nesse draft é o seguinte: quando você pega Sejuani e Rakan insta, você tá querendo dizer o quê? Eu quero ir pra cima de você, eu quero ir pra dentro de você, minha composição tá pra frente. E aí, quando você pega Pop e Azir, você fala, você não vai chegar em mim, eu vou ter full disengage. Só que aí eles trazem um Pocket Pick, que é o Sheriff. E com isso o Sheriff, ele não tá nem aí pra Azir, pra Pop, pra Zaya, porque ele consegue dar outchange em literalmente todo mundo do jogo, tá? And then one more detail, once they already have the Poppy, right? Like I don't think that they can get on a hard engage without being punished. Pain game, because if they, for example, blind Ornn, they can suffer Gwen or Nar or any counter on the last pick on top.
Yes.
And the Xayah won't be the support that will be trying to play hard engage support against Rakan.
Okay.
Because Rakan and the other ADC can just ignore the other support and jump on Xayah. So this third pick special Xerath, I also think that was like really clever.
Okay, so guys, this is obviously very, very simplified, right? But I want to explain the thought process, okay? So you have poke comps, you have engage comps, and you have front to back, right? Peel comps. Okay? Now, the idea is Rakan said you want to go in, right? But Poppy counters them. So engage loses. It's like rock, paper, scissors. Engage loses to front and back comps because you're running into a rock brick wall. But engage also beats poke. So what Loud want to do here is ban hard engage comps because the left side already has 3 champions that are good at peeling but no engage comp, right? So because poke beats champs that want people to come into them because they never go near them, they just hit them from far away, they want to ban the engage champs like Ornn, Nautilus to deny them engage. Make sense? So can you explain that to them?
Ele mostrou no triângulo aí como funciona front to back, peel comp é bom contra engage, que é bom contra poke, tem esse triângulo, basicamente uma comp countera a outra. E quando ele mostra os tipos de ban que tiveram e os picks, você vê como a Lau está tentando tirar esse kite back que a PAIN tem com o pick do Sheriff. Que aí ele consegue ter poke sem ter nenhum counter, sem nenhum hard engage pela equipe da PAIN.
Thank you so much for the follows, guys, and thank you to Coach Capivara, thank you to paiN Valta, and thank you so much to Nell Lowell as well as Mob Lol for the subs, guys. I really appreciate it. So continuing on, let's just watch the thing, and we're seeing right side kind of trying to deal with like engage champs. I expect some sort of like Ornn ban if they want to take a Jace. I can also see some other types of engage champs. Like I don't know what's the top of my head. What can they pick here?
They could try Sion, something like this.
Yeah, I guess something like Sion, but Sion is very telegraphed, right? So they end up picking Lulu. I think the idea is that They just think it's the best pairing left with Xayah, and it counters Rakan in lane.
Yeah.
But maybe they just couldn't find an engaged champ, and they weren't planning to blind on anyway. Because if paiN Gaming are blue sides, they have to pick 4-5. So what you're most likely going to see is an 80 carry to match the Xayah. They'll have top counter pick. So if they pick something like an Ornn here, they can counter pick with Gwen. So that's kind of the thought process that's going on. Where I disagree with both drafts is I think that if Loud wanted to draft like this, I don't think they should be too scared. Or at least for paiN Gaming, if they want to draft like this, I don't think they should be too scared of champions like Olaf, right? I know that Olaf is probably what they're scared of. Maybe it's a Robo pocket pick, right? But you know, their comp wins when they come into them, right? paiN Gaming's comp wins against champs that run into them, and they're very good at dealing with champs like Olaf, and they're also very good at dealing with champs like Renekton. So I don't really agree with paiN Gaming's ban pick here. I think Loud's ban pick makes a lot more sense, but also I don't really agree with the Lulu pick. And paiN Gaming opt to go for the Rel. So you know, they're saying fuck it, we need engage, so I'm drafting Rel here. And you know, for some reason Loud go to 5th pick 80 carry. I don't agree with this either. I think once again
they could pick the Zeri, for example, in 4th,
or Ezreal. I think Ezreal, Varus, Ezreal, Xerath, really good combos, right? So they can pick these champions. Ezreal also very, very good into Poppy, very good into Azir, very good into Xayah. But maybe it's a champion pool issue. I don't really agree with blind Nah, because now you can be counterpicked by a champion like Camille that will win side against you, and that also has good engage.
The point is like Robo is the kind of the guy who can play like Karma top if you want.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I mean, just could you explain that I really think that 80 carry should be on 4 for Loud, and on 5 now paiN Gaming have counter pick on top and engage on support.
Also about the Olaf ban that I also agree was necessary.
Yeah.
O que ele tá falando aqui, acho que a gente conversou aqui, é o seguinte: a gente não concordou com o ban de Olaf que teve aqui pela paiN no 4-5, por quê? A comp da paiN é exatamente boa contra Olaf. Se você tem Pop, Azir, Xayah, você dá o kite muito bem, e Olaf não consegue se dar bem contra isso. Tá? E a gente tava conversando aqui também que o pick da Loud aqui no 4 poderia ser o ADC, poderia ser um Varus, um EZ, ou até uma Zeri também, que acabou sendo, porque esses campeões conseguem lidar bem com range ou na skill, especialmente o Varus e o EZ, né? E a Zeri também consegue fazer de uma boa maneira. E pegar o Nar no 4 não tinha muito sentido, quando você já podia responder o AD e dar o counter pick final no top side. That's it.
Yeah. And so something to note here is that, guys, there's a different, people are saying what draft I prefer. There's a difference between a better team, and thank you so much for the sub, Uber Depara, I appreciate it. There's a difference between a winning team and a better team. You can have a better team with more money and better players, but it doesn't mean you're a winning team. A winning team is playing something that works for you and playing a style that works for you. The difference between a winning team in, I would say, a weaker region versus a really strong region, like let's just say Brazil versus Korea, is that in Korea, and China, they can play all the drafts, right? So they can play draft counter and they can play a really winning style. Whereas in Brazil and in Oceania, where I come from, you know, in PCS, they need to stick to a style because it's too much that the teams are weaker in general. So that what they want to be doing is they want to specialize. So when you guys say, what draft do I prefer? I think both sides can make a mistake and both sides can win. It's more about how comfortable are they on their champs and what is the color of the team. Because if you specialize, when you're not good at something, you need to specialize. You want to be, you want to be playing comfort. So the question here is, how comfortable is Wiser on Camille, right? How comfortable is left side with their draft? Can you explain?
Yeah. O que ele tá falando é o seguinte, é uma coisa até bem famosa da nossa região, que é o seguinte: vocês perguntaram pra ele qual que é o draft melhor, e ele diz que nas regiões mais fracas, tipo Brasil, Oceania, eu posso incluir a LLA também, você vai dar o counter draft, entre parênteses, meio que é inútil, porque se o time não saber jogar esse draft, ele não vai conseguir tirar o melhor dele. Ele fala que na Coreia, na China, os times conseguem jogar todos os drafts, todos os estilos de composições. Nas regiões mais fracas, eles têm que se especializar em um determinado tipo, geralmente o mais simplista, de engage, fight, etc., que é a nossa cultura do Brasil, porque se a gente consegue, em tese, um counter draft, mas a gente não sabe executar, ele não vai ser efetivo. I also told that like in Brazil I have a lot of problem about drama about like counter drafts, etc., but like this almost don't exist because even if you make the better draft, but your region, because it's weaker, don't know how to execute this and play towards these conditions, the counter itself will be useless.
Okay.
So we have this reduce our pool a lot also.
What's important from my understanding is, and when I saw Europe succeed the most, is when they played to be Europe. They didn't play to be Korea or China. They played to be Europe, to play their style. So for Brazil, what's really important is find out what works for Brazil. And then that will have better results than trying to copy Korea all the time. Does that make sense? And as we saw in paiN Gaming, we talked about how they want to counter long range with engage. So they ended up picking Malphite and they picked Rel, right? So exactly what we talked about. And now we have a very interesting game where top lane has paiN Gaming have top lane counter pick, winning 2v2 bot, and even mid with Xerath having prio. So paiN Gaming can definitely win this game because I think Loud trolled their draft in 4-5, right? From a draft perspective. But it also depends on what they're comfortable on. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. I'm mind blown at all the follows and the subs. So do you want to explain that? And then we'll move on, I think.
Yeah, let's go. Ele reforçou um pouquinho o de que, por exemplo, que a Europa, eles jogam para derrotar a Europa. Eles não jogam pensando na Coreia. E eles não jogam pensando, a Coreia joga isso, vamos jogar com isso. Eles vão jogar com o que eles são bons, com o que eles sabem jogar, com o que eles podem se desenvolver. E ele falou que ele gostou dos drafts, ele só não gostou muito desse pick 4-5 da Loud, pelo fato que a gente já conversou um pouquinho, né? Que era o pick do 4 no ADC e o último no top. Então, nisso, a paiN conseguiu um 2v2 que ganha no mid, no blue side, uma matchup boa no top e só toma pressão no mid. Então, ele falou que a paiN tem totais condições de ganhar esse jogo, porque a Loud falhou nesse 4-5.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, obrigado, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we go into the game. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you think will happen to the game, and then maybe I will talk about it?
Yeah, I think in this game, what will happen will be a real face about the details that make paiN be that make Loud be the best team in the region. Loud's the team that not only know how to play winning, but they know how to play losing. When they recognize they are losing, they know how to stall the game and punish, pull the trigger in key moments. You're gonna see. Record this moment, minute 23, by the way. It's when Loud know, okay, I'm behind. Okay, what is my late game win condition? Is this guy okay? This guy get all the resources. And when he say to me that he's strong, we're gonna play towards his condition and pull the trigger in this right moment. But all the rest of the Brazilian teams, when they start to get behind, say, okay, let's try a crazy team fight. If you click better, we win. If you click worst, we lose, and that's it. So Loud know how to play losing. I think that's a key point that make this team so winning in our region.
What stood out for me when I scouted Croc, and you can explain this to them, was is his killer instinct. So what he was really good at is in key moments, he knew how to pull the trigger and fight. So this is always what I try to tap into, right? And I think this is because I was also a very bad coach in 2020. When he eventually joined Brazil, I think that's when he started to blossom, and then he could really show his skill.
Ele falou o seguinte, ele falou que uma das coisas melhores que o Croc tem individualmente, que ele conhece, que ele quando ele trabalhou com ele em 2020, é que ele tem um killer instinct, aquele instinto de matador, de saber a hora certa de puxar o gatilho e executar a jogada, muito, muito bom. E que isso com certeza favorece a Loud.
Yeah. So this is what I think about the game. I think that in topside, it's mostly gonna be Gnar with push on first 3 waves, but and so both junglers will path away from the top side. They'll mostly leave Gnar to just play 1v1 versus Malphite until later parts of the game, where eventually Malphite will outscale. What's important is more so the bot side matchup and how bot interacts with mid. So as you can see, Xerath counters Azir because Azir can trade HP for push, but Xerath can generally hold prio in this matchup and outranges Azir. So what's going to impact mid matchup is going to be support move. So in League of Legends, mid jungle sways side matchups. So just because you win 2v2 bot, it doesn't mean you win if you have a losing 2v2 mid. So what's really important is it also goes the other way around. If Rel is able to be first on the map and impact mid, then he's going to give breathing room for Azir to then help back bot again and win through bot matchups and stack drags and take Herald, right? Can you explain that first? Because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, okay. Guys, o que ele falou basicamente da matchup do top, eles vão ficar isolados em uma ilha num V1, onde nós vai tentar jogar um jogo um pouco mais safe no early game, mas eventualmente o Malphite vai escalar, tá? E basicamente o que vai decidir como é que vai ser aberto o mapa vão ser os suportes, porque apesar do Xerath ter uma condição de push em cima do Azir, o suporte conseguir, se a Rel conseguir chegar primeiro no mid e ajudar o Azir nessa wave, eles conseguem controlar o Rio a partir disso. Então fica mais fácil do bot side da paiN jogar.
Yeah.
Enquanto.
Go ahead.
Say it. You know,
Wait. Okay, so what I'm saying is the 2v2 matchup is very contested from level 1 because Rel can fight level 1 and so can Rakan. So it's going to be a fight for push. The side that has push will generally have an advantage in bot and mid because it dictates, first of all, whether or not you can. Thank you so much, Kaksuya57 for the sub. Appreciate it. So by having push, you can dictate when you base, when you move. You can also dictate if you want to poke them under tower, right? Because they have to decide between farming and getting poked. And generally, you have a HP advantage. So this bot lane 2v2 is all about who can get prior first, who can move Rel into mid first and get control first and maintain prior. And so it's going to be a battle of junglers tracking each other and matching the 2v2. I think I would slightly favor the left side in terms of the bot 2v2 early game because Zeri tends to be weaker. But they can also challenge the 2v2, and I think that Zeri outscales later on in the game. So what I really want to see is, I want to see Poppy path into bot to impact bot 2v2 matchup. Give Rel first move into bot side pixel brush, so that Rel can then impact Azir's lane and give Azir a base timer against Xerath, and kind of repeat and rinse and repeat that until bot side can move into Herald and snowball the game from early. If this game goes late game, it's not easy for the left side to win.
Ok, foi basicamente o seguinte, guys. Ele falou que também, além da movimentação do suporte, o track do jungle vai ser um fator muito importante. O jungle conseguir dar track no outro e pegar a posição vai se dar melhor. E o jungle conseguir, especialmente a paiN, ela vai ter o primeiro movimento onde a Pop vai tentar liberar a Rel para o Azir, ajudar o Azir a dominar o bot pixel. Porque dominando o bot pixel, eles vão conseguir jogar com a pressão da Xayah a partir da mid prio. E com isso eles conseguem jogar a bot lane pro Herald no primeiro Herald e começar a snowballar o mapa a partir disso.
Alia, is there a way you can move your mic closer to your, because I've had you on max, but yeah,
it's Logitech.
Logitech. Much better, much better. Let me reduce your volume now. Oh my lord. Okay.
It's Logitech. Okay. And then when they come back, vou back to Portuguese. Changing.
Yeah.
Quando ele consegue a Pop liberar a Rel pra Xayah ter pressão, eles começaram a dominar mid bot, e nisso o bot consegue subir pro primeiro Herald e eles conseguem jogar a partir disso. Porque se chegar no mid late game, fica muito difícil pra paiN ganhar. Por causa do scale que a Zeri vai ter.
Yeah. Much better, guys? Everyone can hear? A little bit less, a little bit up? Perfect now? Good.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's see what happens in this game. So we see a good... Okay, so this is really big because the topside matchup is all about how Na can structure his lane 1v1. Because the later the game goes, the harder this lane matchup is going to be. So Robo wants to maintain prior and kind of get first bases in to ensure that he has a CS lead in lane. Because the later the game goes, the harder it is for the Na side. Of course, Na will win side lane versus Malphite. But in terms of team fights, Malphite will have an infinitely bigger advantage, right? So this is actually really, really good for the paiN gaming side.
Ele tava falando sobre como a matchup vai escalar, né? Da top lane. E que essa primeira rotação... Man, can you share your screen with me? On the...
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, because I
forgot.
got too behind.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, but that was a good question that people ask if you know Cheiro, the current head coach of paiN Game, if you know him.
No, I'm sorry. I don't really have too many connections.
Ok, ele não conhece muito o Cheiro porque não tem muitas conexões. Então ele tava falando de como essa matchup agora vai mudar e depois desse flash, e que apesar do Nar ter o outscale da side lane, o Malphite consegue ser mais impactante na fight, que é muito mais fácil de execução.
Yeah, I'm one of those few coaches that actually didn't have any connections when he started esports. So yeah, I don't actually know too many people. But what you see here is, we talked about the 2v2, right? The contesting the wave. And, this initial trade looks good, but I think the problem was, you see, right? Can everyone see this? Wait, I want to extend this. Does everyone see the Rakan? How they stay in lane first? This is really important because generally in this matchup, if you're contesting the 2v2 push and you're really trying to get first move on the rel, it's important that both sides start lane. That's why they're not leashing. But even though they can contest 2v2, the Xayah Rakan takes first push control for free. So because of the cheese that happened top and they committed numbers top, right? So what ends up happening is because of this early game setup, when they walk into lane, they are contesting to retake the bush. Whereas it should be both sides kind of sitting and kind of trying to play mind games with each other and controlling bush. I think Zeri is maybe a little bit stronger than Xayah in level 1, but with bush control, or if you contest bush control, it will change. So because of this, what ends up happening is he ends up losing push bot. And what Karyok tries to do is he tries to impact this bot lane. As we said, we talked about the game plan by level 3 ganking bot side with his entire top side up. But the problem is red side has prepared really well and warded level 1. You want to talk about that?
É o que eu falo, guys. Como teve a PeN apareceu com superioridade numérica no topside, tirando o flash do robô, isso permitiu com que a Loud conseguisse dominar o bot side. Então, onde consegue começar o bot side, eles conseguiram contestar a terceira bush do bot, nem foi a segunda bush, na qual geralmente é contestada nessa matchup. E isso deu uma pressão muito forte para a bot lane da Loud. O Carioca tentou fazer o certo, que era o quê? 3 campos e fazer a primeira ação no bot. Só que a Loud já sabia que isso poderia acontecer. E nessa primeira rotação do bot, eles colocaram essa ward que é muito boa, que consegue tirar tanto um gank vindo do Rio, como um gank vindo da Tribush. E com isso eles conseguiram jogar lane agressiva, sem ser punido, e ainda spotaram o Carioca.
And can you just explain the reason they ward level 1 is because they know they're contesting push and they have bush control. And if they leave the lane to ward on the second wave, so around 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30 seconds,
be surprised.
They can be surprised by level 2 ganks from Poppy, because Poppy can gank level 2, and also they are losing pressure on bot, whereas they want to stack 3 waves and push. This is why they do this ward. Can you explain? Very common.
Ele falou também que essa ward, que foi, como eu falei, que foi colocada mais cedo, o principal motivo é se eles puxam a segunda para a terceira wave e decidem rodar para guardar mais ou menos 2,20, 2,30, a chance de encontrar uma pop level 2 e fazer esse gank tease neles é bem razoável. Então por isso que eles rodaram, pegaram essa ward tão cedo para eles conseguirem jogar essas 3 primeiras waves mais tranquilamente. That's it.
Yeah, okay, so I also want to explain this ward. so the reason he wards here is normally the Nah vs Malphite matchup, Nah can contest push, but because of what happened level 1, Wiser gets pushed, right? So what will happen is after Nah collects his top wave, he'll start pushing again, and Malphite will not have a time to ward again. So Croc went red into Krugs, right? So he cleared this ward around 2 minutes and 5 seconds. A jungle camp will respawn in 2 minutes 15 seconds. But so normally what you want to be doing is around wave 4-5, around 4 minutes. He wants to ward here, but Malphite cannot have push. Malphite can't push in this matchup. It's not possible. So what he does is in his 3-minute window, he trinkets the Krugs to see the Krug respawn, right? So that if Croc is not there at the very start, he knows which side Croc is playing to. He knows if he's skipping camp stop or whatnot. But normally you want to do this around 3 minutes 45 or 3 minutes 40 to 4 minutes.
He got this window before.
Yeah, he got this window before, and he can't hold this window because it's Nah, right? So that's why he does this ward.
O que ele falou é o seguinte, essa ward está sendo colocada tão cedo, porque como o robô perdeu o flash level 1, o Malphite conseguiu uma parada que ele não deveria ter. E a partir que conseguiu essa parada que ele não deveria ter, ele conseguiu, como eu até completei com ele, essa janela dessa ward veio antes do que deveria. E com essa ward agora, ele consegue ver se o campo tá lá ou não, consegue saber com isso os campos que a Sejuani fez, e quando vai nascer, ele vai saber onde a Sejuani vai estar. Então isso ajuda muito a lane phase dele. Essa ward, que mostra um campo só, mas é muito boa para conseguir gerar pressão. And also there's one detail that, if you allow me to say, because the factor that they also make the scuttle, the first scuttle of the top side themselves, now he can play really free the lane. It's almost impossible to be boarded. Because they have a defensive line on the top side that allow Malphite to play the matchup how he wants.
Yeah, this is also a disaster. You need to explain this part too. This is also a disaster because when you take 3 camps bot and gank bot like Karyok did, you have a limited turn on top side because you have 3 camps top. So when he spent the turn bot, Croc got an advantage by taking his blue, and he has his entire bot side up, right? So this means Croc can spend a lot of time bot because he has camps up bot side, whereas Poppy has no camps up bot side, so he needs to either take enemy jungle, right? Or skip camps and go back bot and fall behind in levels. So this is a very, very bad game for Karyok, even though they got a level 1 lead on Nar because he wasted a lot of time bot side. And now what Croc can do is he can impact that bot side. And we talked about the importance of support coming first, right? So the game plan has collapsed because they lost push. Karyok wasted time bot. Croc has used his time correctly on bot side. And Poppy is going to be stuck top side. So bot will be 3v2. Can you explain that?
Yeah, and also now right now to Pop it's a lose situation because or she get the XP and get okay, but to do a vertical jungle in a matchup that don't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Or she come to match bot but stay level behind and lost the 1v1 the river that will be awful to her as well.
Yeah,
I'll try to
exactly.
resume that way. Então, gente, o que ele falou foi o seguinte que a gente conversou aqui agora. Como o fato do Carioca ter sido disputado naquela ward atribush mais ou menos no minuto 2:30, isso faz com que eles saibam que ele fez 3 campos bot onde ele tem aqui top e agora ou ele vai top e fazer uma vertical jungle na lane que não vai impactar o jogo, que é essa de Malphite contra Nar, e o Croc vai ter muito tempo para ficar jogando bot e ainda assim vai ter os 3 campos do bot side para fazer e nisso ele consegue se manter level na frente, inclusive do Carioca, impactando a lane que mais importa no jogo.
Did you explain the idea of if you use a turn on bot early with 3 camps up top, he doesn't have much turn to like he needs to go back top? Yeah. So now what you're going to see is you're going to force a flash from Rel, which is going to lose a lot of kind of pressure on the bot 2v2. And in that time, Karyok's managed to trade the map. So what Karyok did here to trade the map was really good in terms of gameplay. He was too late to defend bot side. Pro Delta played the 1v3 perfectly, and then they end up killing Nar. So this is really good for the game. But still, it's not ideal because what really matters in this game is not actually top, it's support. Because support will impact mid matchup, and mid matchup is counted.
Ele falou que apesar da jogada do cara ter sido boa para conseguir pegar essa play no top, o fato do Prodel ter perdido o Flash, até jogou bem esse 1v3 que aconteceu no bot, ainda assim o impacto que da play do top não vai ser a mesma porque ela não é a lane que importa nesse jogo, e sim o bot. E agora a bot lane vai estar muito mais forte porque o Bevoy tá sem cleanse e o Prodel tá sem Flash. Então agora a matchup que importa no jogo tá muito mais fácil para lá do que deveria estar.
But what Karyok did was the best he could do in the given situation.
Inside this lose-lose situation, yes.
Yeah, but it's the best he could do. So even though the kill is nice, it's actually not impacting the game massively. What really matters is the bot 2v2, how they're going to swap around Herald, and how the bot matchup impacts the rest of the map, essentially. And then what we see now is we use Poppy first move to get bot prio into setting up Drake, and Wiser moves from top into mid to match numbers and to have a number advantage on the map. So to match numbers with Seraph. And then you'll see Malphite go back into top. So this is all pretty standard gameplay. Obviously, you lose a plate for it. Now it's all going to be about how can we set up for Herald and who's going to base first and how we're going to match numbers. So in Herald, you have 2 options. You have the option to trade the map. So give Herald and play 4 into bot and essentially just like jungle support, stop enemy bot from going back bot and then taking 2 plates. Or you can swap, or like you can move from bot into Herald, right? These are there's 3 plays really available. It really depends in the game. If you have a champion like Jinx that can take towers really well, Caitlyn, generally speaking, you want to be trading them out because plate gives about, so Herald gives about 1.5 plates plus like 300 gold and EXP. Whereas if you can deny 2 waves from bot because you have numbers on bot while they commit to Herald, you're going to get more. So if you can get 2 plates plus like deny waves, it's almost always going to be better to trade. But if you only lose 1 plate and you can get Herald as well, that's ideal. So the winning side that wants to snowball all early, like Kalista Draven, will normally opt to try and move and swap into top side or take Herald early. So that's kind of what they need to plan around. And I do think that left side ideally wants a lead early. So they should be setting up for this Herald. So I want Poppy to go back into bot and give bot push out to set up for some sort of swap because Malphite is really good in a 1v2 situation and he can farm. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Ele falou basicamente que agora eles têm que fazer uma batalha para ver quem vai se recalar primeiro e conseguir impactar especialmente a paiN de ter 2 opções. Ou ter prio bot com a ajuda da Pop e conseguir jogar em 2 lanes com 5 pessoas para fazer esse primeiro Herald, ou então fazer um full swap pelo fato de que o Malphite ele se vira muito bem contra a Zeri e o Rakan, e o Nar não se vira tão bem contra a Rare e Xayah. Então a paiN teve essas 2 opções para tentar fazer esse primeiro Herald, que é uma das condições dele, que como a gente falou lá no início, se for pro late game, a Loud ganha. Então a paiN tem que se desdobrar para fazer esses objetivos.
Does that make sense to everyone? Does everyone understand? That's the concept, okay? Good. So now what you actually end up seeing is you see Rakan open up into mid and just kind of find numbers here, which means they'll have vision first on top side. So now they have the option. If Rel shows bot, Rakan can choose to match into bot and they can just insta start Herald, and Sejuani can use a top side turn to hit Malphite and then start Herald, or he can opt to just stay top side and let Zeri 1v2. Now I think Rakan opts to go bot because the call is made that they should be able to take this alone without Rakan. I think that's what happened. And you're kind of seeing that right now. You see Xerath cleaning up the Malphite, so now they have numbers on the Herald, right? So now what happens is look at Xerath, guys. Look at Xayah position. See how he's walking into river? Now he's going to turn back. Because the moment Malphite dies, this play is over. Now topside Herald is gone. So what Xayah and Rel have to do is try trade sides now. This is hard because this accident happened. What should have happened is Xayah and Rel should have swapped or moved into mid earlier when Poppy was bot instead of Poppy just doing red buff, and then created numbers on the Herald side, or just be early to just give up top side and prepare to trade bot side hard and deny Zeri Rakan like 3 waves or 2 waves. That's what should have happened. But this is an indecision and this is just a mistake on the map.
Ele falou basicamente que a Xayah e a Rel deveriam ter feito a rotação antes, tá? Eu acho particularmente, I think practically they should start making force this move when they spot Rakan in the top side ward, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a really good one.
Yeah.
A really good window for them. Então deveria ter começado a forçar essa rotação do bot pro mid. Quando o Rakan foi spotado, como eles perderam esse timing, a Loud conseguiu puxar o gatilho no top side, matar o Weiser, e com isso redomar o top side, que forçou que a Xayah e a Rel tenham que voltar pro bot, e isso deu um stall no tempo do Herald, desse primeiro Herald.
Yeah, so basically, do you see this timer at 7 minutes 14 seconds? This is the timer that they should have moved. Right? So you see how Xayah Rel is basing right now? They're full HP and they have Poppy bot. While Sejuani uses a turn top, Xayah Rel should use Poppy's turn to push out next wave, base, and move together into top side, and then Malphite should swap and 1v2 bot.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. That would be the best one.
Yeah, do they understand that? Can you explain that?
Ele falou o seguinte, o que tava falando é o seguinte, a primeira opção deles, da paiN, deveria ser, quando a Poppy tava no bot side, tava dando esse reset agora, eles abrem top reto, o Weiser, depois dessa wave do top, quando a próxima wave vai estar midada, ele dá recall também, eles fazem full swap e já jogam na última wave antes do Herald nascer, ganhando pressão topside. I so completely, because if they do this swap right now, they'll be able to manipulate the last wave before the Herald, so they're gonna have the top prio, and the Loud bot lane won't be able to match it.
Well, it will be 1v2 topside, right? Versus Nah. So this is what you want, because if you look at the right side comp, they're just for sure outscaling. They have Nah that wins side lane, they have Xerath and Zeri that are outranging, and then left side, obviously they have Malphite, so that's nice, but whenever they have flashes up, I don't think team fights are playable for left side. So they really, really need to build some sort of advantage early. This is why they should swap. Okay. So now what you see is Carriok starting the Herald. I do think that if Loud wanted to, they could just insta-start the Herald here. I think it's fine. But they opt to not. I'm not sure why. They have Nara on top side, Rel and Zeri are stuck bot. And they also have push out on top. And Croc wins 1v1, right?
The only thing that comes to my mind is like they think, okay, Azir have ult and my Sheriff don't have, and they probably don't have the exactly track of Malphite's TP. They probably can be afraid of he like respawn TP with his ult up.
Yeah, I think another thing is this Poppy ulti. This Poppy ulti wastes a lot of time. So Malphite kill cooldown is only 20 seconds. What they should have done is they need to choose. They either need to insta start this Herald as 2, and then Nah catches wave and then moves, or they need to instantly go into bot and try trade the map, but I think that's a bit late. The reason I think hitting Herald here instantly is a bit better is because even if Malphite has TP or whatnot, they should have roughly 10 to 15 seconds to finish this Herald, and Nah will be able to come to Herald on time. What I'm guessing is the call was made to give the Herald because Nah has no Mega Gnar and is half HP and he has a big wave. So I guess in hindsight, when I look at it again, maybe it's a little bit hard to start the Herald. But the concept of going top was to get top priority and then get the Herald. But now the situation changed. The game always change, so you need to make a new game plan, right?
Yep. Probably if the mid have like a rise or more DPS pick, they could still try it. But once they don't have a lot of DPS
Yeah.
right now to make it. Probably it was
Yeah.
they opted for the safest.
Yeah. I think Mega Na is a really big aspect, and obviously not having a good wave, but it ends up still being okay. Why? Well, they get a big wave crash top. Sejuani's going to have tempo on bot side, and it's probably going to be bot plates for Herald. And they also got a kill, right? So it'll be either even or maybe slightly winning for Loud anyway, because they outscale. So it's fine if they lose this Herald. I think maybe it's a slightly safer option, but the concept was still there, and I think Loud is just outplaying them on the map right now.
Yeah, and like right now this Herald, like I think it's not like the best one because the only like really high pressure lane they have it stop, but you don't want to give this Herald to Malphite obviously. But because of the level 1 situation, they don't have prior anymore, and they have way more pressure, and it's hard to make a Herald on Sheriff's lane because he just one shot the wave, right? So they have the Herald, but they don't have a good lane to put it right now.
Okay, so they use the turn to push top. Sejuani has his turn on bot side. What's really important here is that you find enemy jungle as an objective. Because if you don't know where Poppy is, Poppy can appear on both sides of the map. So what you actually see here, for example, is you see how Na comes back into lane and Croc is farming his Gromp. I think what's more important here is to chuck a ward in enemy jungle. You have zero vision in enemy jungle. You have a pink ward here, which is useless. You need to see, after this Herald, where Poppy will go. So you want to ward this Raptor, or you want to ward Krugs, okay? So let's have a look at what happens. So the wave is good. The wave is coming back into Nar. The wave is going to build up. And so I want Rakan, Sejuani, Xerath to work together to find enemy jungle to make topside more playable. This is a very important concept. But don't think that this is happening. Sejuani is basing... This is not just Robo's fault. It's actually like the entire team's fault. They really need a ward on Krugs or on Raptors. You see, this ward is useless. Because now, from Loud perspective, they don't know if Poppy is on Raptors, diving top, or taking Krugs, right? And the wave top is bad. So if they want to play like this, Sejuani needs to sprint top and help Robo push out, or Robo needs to play in tier 2 tower, which is always bad. So I think the best play is to always find the enemy jungler, but we end up just greeting for a Gromp, which is way less meaningful. And then that's why he dies here. Obviously, Robo can play around this, and he is trolling, but it's also the entire team trolling. Makes sense? It's not that simple. It's not that simple.
I'll try to resume in that situation that most Tinos have the mid prior, he should be warding the Raptors. Meanwhile, Croc don't make the Gromp and recall opening top side. And if they spot on the bot side, he do go straight to bot side. He don't go top anymore. But if you don't spot them on the Raptors, then he just continues to go top side because most likely that will be where Carioca will be, right? I'll try to resume this in Portuguese.
Yeah. Please resume this in Português.
Okay. Oh my god, you're collecting the meme. Ok, guys, o que eu tava falando aqui é o seguinte. O principal erro aqui dessa defesa de Herald da Loud foi o seguinte. O Croc, ele fica para pegar um Gromp mais antes de resetar. E pelo fato de ele ficar atrasado em tempo, e quando o team tem a pressão, ele bota uma ward na entrada da jungle, o que é ruim. Ele precisa que essa ward seja mais deep, seja pelo menos na altura da galinha, porque com essa ward na entrada da galinha, enquanto o Croc abre top, se a Pop não é exportada fazendo galinha, se ela exportar fazendo galinha, ele para de abrir top e desce bot e dá match nela pra defender o Herald, e se ela não é exportada na galinha, por consequência ela tá top e ela continua abrindo top. Então, pelo fato da ward não ter sido deep, não conseguiu pegar legal o track do Carioca, e ele ficou a mais no Gromp, esse tempo a mais no Gromp, e não pegou item nenhum com isso, ele ficou tempo atrás e eles vão ser punidos top agora. That's it.
Yeah, so this is pretty disaster for the map because it was so winning for Loud, but I mean, I guess it ends up being okay. You know, what was really important is to try get that early advantage on this bot 2v2 because as time goes, it's so much more favored to Rakan Zeri, right? They're just really happy playing into this game. I don't think anyone on the left side can kill the Zeri now. It's going to come up to just like Zeri failing to flash or Malphite ult or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so now the game is becoming hard. Of course, with Robo kind of running it down, it makes the game a little bit more playable. But in general, I would say that, you know, the ideas behind both sides' drafts were decent, but the execution and understanding of lane matchups and how each lane needs to interact with each other and what the win condition was, I feel like was not there. And And that's probably why you're seeing a lot of inconsistent play. I thought that, you know, paiN Gaming was maybe one of the better teams, if not the best team in the regular season. No? They were winning. They were winning in the regular season. I think they were first
but
place.
they were the most consistent, but they're not the most dominant in their win. I should say like this, because as I said in the beginning of the stream, like they're not the one who be like finding
Yeah.
holes at the admin team. They're just more like see obvious mistake that weaker team does and punch them. But once
Yeah.
Loud doesn't do this obvious mistake, it's harder to them.
Yeah. Okay, so a general rule, guys, is if you want to play Drake, you want to either play through mid or through bot. Generally, playing through mid is better because if you control these bushes, retaking like Pixel becomes a lot more difficult, and you have positional advantage because you can drop Drake and go back into mid. Can you explain that? So playing Drake through mid is better because you can go back into mid and choose to play through mid.
Ele falou que basicamente você quer dominar o Rio a partir do mid pro Drake é melhor, porque você consegue fechar o acesso da bot pixel mais fácil. E caso você comece a perder o domínio do Rio, você volta pro mid e pega a pressão, e aí você consegue trocar por plate na da torre, ou forçar eles a voltar a defender, e com isso tenta da retake no Rio, te dá mais opções. I told because I told that one about taking the river dominance towards the mid, because it gives more option, like has like dominate about picks, that's quite important. And even if you are even if they kick you out of the river, once you have the mid prior, you still can at least exchange it for some plates or for some tempo advantage.
So what Loud do here really good is when you play a poke comp, so when you play things like Xerath, when you play things like Zeri, you find it a lot harder to face check into enemy team because they can engage from so many different angles. So taking control first with poke comp, so taking vision first is very important, and they failed. So instead of trying to force their way in through full vision, what they do is they actually end up walking around and playing through mid, playing through bot. So when you can't play through mid in general, what teams need to do is they need to play through side. And what you're seeing here is exactly that, right? So Zeri ends up immediately pushing bot wave. Azir takes control of mid. They group up first onto Drake, but it ends up being a 4v3 situation. And Loud, because they're not face checking into full vision, they have the option to 50-50 the Drake or play the Drake fight. And Root can play to just play around Malphite ulti, essentially. And so I don't mind this setup from Loud. I think it was pretty well played from Loud. I think paiN Gaming had the right idea. Right? Yeah. They had the really right idea, but they just cannot give this space for free. This is illegal. So instead of committing to the Drake, what they needed to do was, okay, you already zoned them off here. They can't walk through here. Now push them out, right? Push them out like this, right? And then hover bot so Zeri can't push and make them play from here, right? If they play from here, it's a lot easier to play because there's so much space that you can kite with. So you generally want to like force into choke points and then contest essentially like this area. Generally, that's like how you see most Baron fights. That's why the two most important areas when it comes to like objective fights is going to be Pixel and it's going to be like the entrances, right? Yeah. And you already have control of left side. So why does paiN not just walk in and deny this push? Just push SeeEl out. They have numbers. It's 4v3, right? Yeah. Don't focus the Drake. Push them out. Don't let them team fight like this.
Predator should be walking up so the carries can walk up with him, and then they try to isolate them.
Yeah.
And remember that I told about the minute 23? Would be a really similar one, but in a really key moment because of Baron factor.
Yeah. I mean, something that you guys also need to realize here is Karyok has ult. So if Karyok just ults one person, this play is over, this dragon is free.
Yeah.
But he just ults really, really late, misses the ult, right, against a full charged up Zeri. And then now it's just a 3v3 situation with Zeri charged up, and obviously they're going to get outscaled in this fight, and then Drake becomes 50-50. So I would say that the Loud played the setup a lot better. paiN had the better idea at the start, but then threw their lead. And this needs to be done through repetitive training and systems. I think maybe this is something that they needed to work on. But obviously it also depends on the players that you have and if they're capable of doing this, right? The most important thing about coaches, guys, is that coaches are not miracle workers.
Yes,
I mean, a big problem is that people think that coaches are miracle workers and they can carry a team. And I really appreciate all the love that Brazil has been giving. But if I don't have a good team behind me and I don't have good players behind me, I can't fix your problems. I'm not going to guarantee you'll win, right? What's going to guarantee you a win are good systems, good players, good environment, and no issues all around the board, right? For example, like the way that I talk about coaches is that I think we are Sherpas. We are there to guide and help. We are support, but we are not the main character. A big issue I have with a lot of coaches is they think they're the main character. They think they're the leader, right? But you can be a leader without being the main character. The players are the main character. Everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we teach them should be from a player perspective to help the player to make them play better, right? A big problem with coaches is they'll either think they're the main character or they will create systems and teach game in such a complex way that players cannot think about this. Guys, I know that a lot of you guys are probably League of Legends players yourself. If you play League of Legends, can you think about 100 things at once? Like if I say, hey guys, what you need to do is you need to control this choke point, you need to play around this pixel. It's hard as fuck. No one is going to remember. Can you explain this to them?
Yeah, and also I agree. I also say here in Brazil that like we as a coach, we
Yeah.
are like when we are a tool to develop the player. And as better the coach, better the tool, and that's it.
Yeah.
The limit of the player will be pushed by himself, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can help push their limits and you can make them better. But the main point is we're not miracle workers, and everything that we do is for the player, and it should be for the player. The problem with coaches is it's not like that. Most coaches are not like that. I would say that a lot of coaches think it's about them. It's not about us. It's about the players. So when I teach the game, I also really stress that the game needs to be taught in a simple way. So instead of saying, control this choke point, play around this thing, and then try to draw this line in 360 degrees, pi times x, y, z, square root 3, 1, 4, 1. Instead of that, what you need to do is, okay, when you have control of pixel, you can play to finish dragon, because a lot of the time you'll have control of here and here. But when you lose pixel and they play through mid, a lot of the time it's going to be a 50-50. See how easy that is?
Yeah.
You can make the game so easy this way. So you need to simplify the game and like help your players in a way that's easy to understand. Right?
O que ele falou basicamente o seguinte, nessa situação que a paiN executou errado o domínio da defesa das entradas da jungle e etc., a principal função do coach nisso é, primeiro, ele fez uma crítica também aos coaches, de que o coach nunca vai conseguir fazer melhor do que o time tem de limite. E o coach nunca é a estrela. Até a gente conversou um pouquinho sobre isso, tipo, no sentido de que nós como coach, nós somos... Ele falou assim, a gente não é um milagreiro, né? Eu falei, tipo, a gente é só uma ferramenta para fazer com que o jogador chegue ao seu limite e a gente, quem sabe, puxe um pouco mais do limite dele. Mas o jogador só vai conseguir fazer isso se o coach reconhecer o papel dele como fator secundário mesmo. A gente não é o principal. A gente é o auxiliar do jogador para ele crescer. E ele falou que muitos treinadores conseguem... Ele falou que muitos jogadores... muitos treinadores querem fazer o League parecer difícil. Foi quando ele fez essa conta matemática no Epic Tool, porque eles tentam fazer algo ser difícil para parecer importante, quando na verdade é só simplificar.
Yeah.
Oh, my volume again?
No, I got you. I did it myself.
Okay.
So guys, to show you an example, right? And I'll show you guys literally why, right? I'll make it really easy to understand the pixel situation, because some people might not understand, okay? So say I go into practice tool. Okay. And let's look at the dragon situation again. And you said at 23 minutes there's a Baron play, right? So we'll look at the same situation.
No. It's a Drake one. It's exactly the same one, but they suffer the contest from the top side of the river and then turn to a Baron and then Loud come back to the game.
Okay,
fully.
Guys, look at this. When you ward here, the amount of vision control that you get is you see all this. You see this? So what you can do is you can play with this pixel ward and not let them come into pit, especially if you're blue side, right? But what I want you guys to see now is what happens. So say I go back and I buy a pink ward. Sorry. And I put a pink ward here. They will have zero vision here, right? They will have zero vision. They can't see. So you can finish the dragon. But the reason why you want to be warding, you want to be playing around this pixel, and your decision should be around this pixel, is if you lose this ward, and let's just say enemy has vision, what happens? Now they can play. So now it's 50-50. They can play for dragon. See how easy this is?
Ok, porque foi o seguinte, o
So-
principal
so-
dessa ward... Oh,
So
Can I?
so basically, yeah, basically if you don't have vision here, right, and they have pink ward, they can play with this pink ward to steal the dragon. And a lot of the time what will happen after the pink ward is removed is both teams will 5v5 like this. But if the pink ward is there, right, so let's just say I have a pink ward again. If the pink ward is there, they no longer have vision here. So the side that's hitting dragon can zone them off the dragon like this. So they're playing blind, they can't see. Exactly, water is wet. So it's a lot easier if you teach them around objectives and make it simple like this. You can explain, basically.
Ok. Porque foi o seguinte, a importância dessa dominância de pixel com a visão é que quando você tem a visão, você força o time adversário a entrar numa fog e isola o seu objetivo, que é o Drake, para você fazer sem possibilidade de roubar. Se você não tem o domínio desse bot pixel, eles conseguem entrar pelo bot pixel, botar uma ward dentro do pitch e tentar roubar o Drake. Por isso que essa visão em volta ela é tão importante, porque ela ajuda você a tirar o inimigo dessa área. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, most people think really complex about Baron. They look at the HP and they look at each situation and all the flank, but you can simplify the game and coach for your players. Right? If you make concepts smaller instead of big picture, instead of saying, Robo, why did you look here, right? So what coaches will do, and sorry I'm a bit off topic, but let's just say what coaches will do is they'll say, Robo, one sec, I need to prepare this.
Ok. Oh my god.
This is most esports coaches. Robo, you died again. What is this? This is bad. What you do is you look at why this happens. Oh, Robo entered again. No, not like this. It's like, okay, let's look at why he died. He died because he doesn't know where jungle is. So you make the situation smaller and you fix the problem. Instead of thinking about why he died, like thinking about and telling him to play safe when he has no vision, why don't you talk about how to stop this from happening in the first place? Always look at the main reason. You see? The main reason. This is how you need to teach and make it very easy to understand. Okay? So can you explain that and then we can move on?
Yeah, that one it's a value that I share a lot. O que foi basicamente é o seguinte, não adianta nada você fazer o review e culpar o cara de você tá entrando, Robo, você morreu de novo aqui. E se você não pegar o porquê do problema, por que ele morreu lá? Foi porque não tinha info do jungle. Por que não tinha info do jungle? Porque o mid não puxou, não guardou, o bot side não conseguiu um track do jungle, e por causa disso ele se colocou nessa situação de perigo. Ele falou que a maioria dos coaches de esporte, isso eu concordo muito, eles só tentam ver a ponta do problema e não o que levou, qual é a razão, qual é o motivo que levou a essa morte. E aí você não vai alcançar o problema de fato. It's just complete about like when we are reviewing the things, we cannot go for like what happened, but the reasons that bring us. Because if you just fix the problem itself, the last second, the problems, the mistake will keep going just with different faces, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The concept will be wrong still.
Yeah, so it's very important to think about the game in concepts and to make the game easy to understand. Right? And kind of like what your thought process should look like is something like this. Make it super easy. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. Right? Playing in a team is an agreement, right? Playing in a team is not just about your own mistakes, because in a team you can have 5 different people with a different opinion, whereas in solo queue you play with 4 randoms. So the 5 people in your team need to agree on the one way to play the game. That's why systems are important. That's why making the game is important. That's why it's important to make the situation more understandable and easy. So now what we see is Loud trading topside for bot side, pretty standard. Zeri opens up on mid and catches a wave. Now it's going to be about who finds numbers, who has control first. The right side, so Loud's composition really wants to be in position first and ward first. The reason is if they don't have vision, they don't have too many tanks. They have Sejuani technically, but it's very hard to team fight because they can flank engage, they can engage instantly. There's so many things that they can do. And Loud don't like playing fights fast. They like playing fights slow. So it's all going to be about which side gets control first and how do they play around prize and how do they play around their tempo and who makes mistakes. Make sense? Okay. You can explain that part too and then we'll just keep watching.
Ok. Porque foi basicamente assim, é que nesses 2 tipos de composição, você tem que chegar primeiro no objetivo para você dominar. tá? No conceito geral. E que a Loud, ela quer jogar a fight muito mais devagar. Ela tem range extra com o team para poder pocar e não deixar a paiN lutar com 100% de HP. Então, para a paiN, é muito mais importante a gente ter que chegar primeiro nesse objetivo e contestar a visão e saber usar isso. Porque senão a Loud consegue manter a distância e jogar melhor.
So this CS difference will always happen because of level 1. Like, after Poppy used his turn on bot, Sejuani helped 2 turns on bot side, and right side got free push because they started in lane. This CS difference will always happen. There's nothing you can do about this. So this is not a... I mean, this is a player plan problem, right? 2v2 problem, not a draft problem or anything like that. And now I think it's very hard for paiN to win. Because the game has gone to 17 minutes, they have no lead and they're outscaled. So I would really doubt it if Loud lose this game. I didn't actually watch these games, so I don't know. But so same thing, right, guys? Blue side, they lost the pixel.
Again, yeah.
Right? They should fight this pixel. Right? paiN Gaming have Rel, Malphite, Poppy. Why do they give this pixel for free? I want 1 here. I want 4 here. Fight like this. But the moment you give this pixel, what happens? It's 50-50. You see? Same thing. Same thing. So this is just bad macro. The Croc just walks in for free. Does Xerath like playing against flank, guys? Xerath can't play when there's flank. Because you're so immobile, you can't move. You're like a cannon. Can you like translate that? See, look, this is what I'm talking about. 50-50.
Believe me, at minute 23, we're gonna see the same in the BGG. I'm giving spoiler for the game already.
Okay.
O que ele falou é o seguinte: de novo, a paiN chega primeiro, consegue dominar o objetivo, coloca a visão certinho, mas eles não jogam para frente para defender a visão, para forçar um engage com o Azir e o Malphite, ou isolar alguém com a ult da Pop também seria uma opção. E com isso, com isso, a Loud só precisa cavalar dentro do rio porque ninguém defende os pontos de visão. E com isso o Drake fica 50-50 de novo. That's it.
Okay, so if Xerath can play on range and poke like this and just play 50-50 lane, and Malphite is not here, blue side can never win team fight. Blue side will always just be poked down. So what you're seeing here is just composition difference, right? And they end up just playing for fight. Obviously, Croc gets altered out. That's good by them. I think what was better here to do was, instead of going to Rel and trying to ult Rel by Croc, he should actually go into pit and try fuck with B-Boy. Or even Poppy. And then SeeEl should mark these two. But that's okay. So when you can't play for objective, you should play for fight. So what Xerath and what Zeri should do is try kill them and then play for Nash in 2 minutes.
Yeah, Rob's thing. Rob's being Rob. It's okay. And the worst thing, later he'll be impactful as always. He can be 0-24, he'll be impactful.
Yeah.
He find his way.
I think Loud are playing a lot better on the map at the moment. So let's just see what happens. I mean, paiN Gaming have 3 Drakes, guys. It's still winnable.
Yeah, it's the best one actually against the poke comp, right? It's one of the best, like the against the set of.
It's still winnable, guys. No. But getting chunked is really bad here, guys. Getting chunked is really bad, okay? It's fine.
He's trolling.
It's fine.
He's trolling.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. He's champion. Hey, but what's important, guys, is who won, huh? Did Wiser win or did Robo win? Let's go. Rob's the GOAT. Okay, so now... I mean, just mostly 50-50. It's going to be about who shifts 3 lanes to 2 and who gets deep push in. So the concept of, you see how Robo pushes, okay, so Robo is trolling for sure, but you see what Robo is doing on the map here, how he pushes this lane? What he does here is really good.
Yes.
Right?
It is.
So to explain you guys why Robo deep push is really good is deep push buys time. Because let's just say you have a 3v3 situation on mid, okay, and you're playing 1-3-1. If Robo pushes bot deep, and the wave is here, Robo now can move and open up on mid, and what happens? Someone has to catch this bot wave, right? So what can happen now is you can open up the map with 4v3. So deep push is really OP when you play solo queue and when you play competitive as well. So Robo obviously knows how the game works. He's just getting griefed by his team because if you actually look, this is not his fault only. Like look at the map. We have no vision of Poppy until it's really late, right? Whereas we need vision around Raptors. So we should already be retaking as 4. When you play 3 lanes, the issue with playing 3 lanes is maybe I'm getting too complex here, but basically what will happen is like you will lose numbers on mid and you can dive side or you can do this. So
I'll give a simple version.
Okay. Basically.
Guys, o ponto é o seguinte, o robô, ele basicamente reconhece que ele perde a side para uma fight. Então o que ele faz? Ele puxa a wave depois do river, ele puxa e ele já começa a rotar para gerar pressão no mid. E nisso, alguém da paiN tem que ir lá buscar essa wave na T2. E a paiN não tem a possibilidade de dar match para não perder o wave na side, e tampouco eles têm tempo para poder puxar 2, 3 waves para chegar na T1 do bot da Loud. Demora muito tempo e nisso o robô já vai conseguir ser efetivo em outra parte do mapa. Então, essa coisa do robô puxar, sair e gerar fog pressure, com a rotação dele por puxar a bot wave, faz com que a paiN fique presa dentro da própria jungle.
So what Loud do here and what Robo does is really good. He may be 0-4, but look at Loud position. There are 5 members mid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're gonna have mid push. So while they have mid push, one person has to stay mid to catch the wave. Which means now, for the next objective on drag, Loud can be first. So we talked about how Loud's win condition is to be first on vision because they play very bad when they lose vision. I think paiN's game plan around getting vision first was good, but they didn't know how to punish. Because I think it was maybe a game knowledge issue, a training issue, I don't know what it is. But now, Loud is the one with the control stick. Loud was always playing from bad position. But now Loud is playing from good position, look. This happens because of Robo deep push. Malphite has to go bot, so they can force 5 on mid, it'll be 4v5 at best. You can force mid push into river. The difference is, blue side is easiest to play for Dragon because you can jump over the wall. Okay? Yes. So it's a little bit different, but in general, Loud love this situation. It's a lot better, okay? And generally speaking, I think what Loud should do is they should play for poke and they should play for fight. Because if they play for Drake and it's 50-50 and they lose, right? Even if they lose 1 member, it's not going to be easy to do Baron and they'll have soul, right? So can you explain that? So generally they should play for fight. So what I want to see is Xerath play from here and like keep poking, right? Like this. And I want to see Rakan sitting in flank position to try start a fight. I don't think they should try 50-50 the Dragon.
Yeah, because of the soul point. O que ele falou é o seguinte, guys, basicamente nessa situação, o que a Loud pode fazer melhor é tomar o take, ou pegar o take do Rio, né? Colocar a visão e fazer o Sheriff ter uma posição boa para longa distância, o Rakan em uma posição de flanco e fazer com que a paiN tenha que entrar para tentar pegar esse Drake, que é o soul point deles, desesperadamente, e nisso eles viram para fightar, e depois de uma fight pegam um Baron, ou levam um inibidor, qualquer outra coisa, mas eles não começarem o dragão por si só, porque pelo blue side é mais fácil você chegar e tentar contestar o Drake, que você pode dar jump pela wall, dando flechando, ou chegar bem perto pelo próprio bot pixel. Para Loud é muito melhor forçar a fight e não começar o dragão, mas fazer a paiN entrar, pensando que estão fazendo o Drake, com a visão, botando o fog pressure, do que iniciar o dragão em si. That's it.
But what you don't want to be doing is, when you take control as Loud, you don't want to give it for free. So you see how Robo is greeting for bot wave? This is really bad. Like you want to be holding this choke point. You don't want to be giving this choke point for free. Because if Tinones gives position and you play the 50-50 again, it's not easy. You want to poke them as much as possible and put Rakan in flank position. So the idea behind pushing bot makes sense. He wants to make someone catch again. But in this position, the blue side has already committed their tempo, they already committed their turn into trying to retake. So what you want to be doing is poking as much as possible. So the concept that I would teach to my students is, if you're playing poke comp, make them trade HP for vision, right? So Robo can go bot, but I want them to lose HP if they want to take this ward. I want them to lose half HP and try fight, you see? But if Robo leaves and they don't have numbers, Xerath just has to fully give position, you see?
Yeah.
So it's very
He was
easy
also
for them
not
to retake.
in a good spot. Probably if he
Yeah.
was the bush behind the pixel,
Yeah.
he could try to throw all his skills on the choke point.
Yeah. I still want more poke, but now for a little bit of HP, they get this pixel ward for free. And I'm not happy about that, obviously. Because now this is bad. This is bad again. This is not easy. So Robo ends up pushing bot and then they go back into mid.
But we arrived to minus 23. Remember.
Yeah, okay. paiN doesn't care about mid wave. I think what they did here to push was good because they already retook this. But Loud should also not care about this mid wave. So what I wanted to see here was just fuck bot, fuck mid, let them come in. I want Loud to hit paiN Gaming to trade HP for control, and then play a 50-50 situation with Rakan on a flank. This is what I want to see. Okay? This is what I want to see. And so I want them to retreat this way. But now if they give this position, it's hard, right? They have to walk all the way around here or all the way through here. It's just not great. Positionally, in terms of team fighting, it's not easy. So really not a big fan of what's happening here. But Robo stacks Mega, at least. And what you're seeing is, once again, just a 50-50.
Yeah. I think there's one factor that like it's good to bring, one that probably don't know. But Pro Delta, it's a super that they just come from academy, so he don't have all these whole XP. And I think that what's missing from him a lot, it's like know his role. For example, if he's around right now and stay in front of the Drake to out attack the Drake or whatever, it's very useless. He have to learn how to sit on the pink and be the first engage, for example, to try at least half HP the croc and then make this still impossible, and then they can guarantee it.
But what I think is, I actually think that all of them are trolling. Because I think that Azir should be right side, Pro Delta should be behind, and then Wiser should be sitting in Pixel, and they should be trying to hold this with Azir soldiers.
Yes, but then I think the point is all the carries have to retreat once the first man, the front line, start to walk into the Drake. They have to walk to stay behind him, and now they give the full position. So they have to teach this kid. He's really young. He's really good and young. Like, you come here. If you need to engage and die so we can see everyone and win the team fight, do it. That's your job. Don't walk with us. Dominate the choke point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to give them this space for free. I don't want to ever create a 50-50 situation. I want Rakan here. I want...
They're asking for a translator, the situation.
Okay.
Okay.
I want...
Say it. Finish.
Yeah, I want Rakan here. I want Azir here. I don't want to give them this choke for free, you see? Because if you go 50-50, then Loud can start poking again. Loud trolled by giving this position for free. So paiN should capitalize on that. Can you explain?
Yeah.
So what should happen is, like, Rakan should be on flank and they should all play to go forward. Fuck nah, fuck bot, fuck mid. Play to engage.
O que a gente tá falando aqui é o seguinte: um problema que a paiN tava tendo, e aí começa pelo Pro Delta, mas como eu falei, ele é um cara que acabou de subir da base, né, do Academy novo, esse tipo de take do choke point, onde tá a pink da paiN e a ward comum da paiN que tá com 2 de HP, ele é o cara que tem que estar sentado nessa pink, dominando essa entrada e virando caso eles tentem entrar na visão deles. Porque essa é a função dele. A partir do momento que ele começa a entrar para dentro do pitch, os carries têm que andar junto, porque tem que ficar atrás da linha dele. E nisso permite com que a Loud consiga entrar no rio e fazer todos esses contestes. Está faltando essa coordenação de fazer a frontline e contestar esse choke point, coisa porque a paiN tinha muito recurso para denar isso. Tinha a ult da Pop, a ult do Malphite, tinha a ult do Azir, a ult da Aurel, tinha muita ferramenta, as penas da Zaya. Eles podiam muito bem lutar nesse choke point, mas nenhum deles fizeram isso. Eles sempre deixavam entrar, e a Loud contestava todos os Drakes. E ele também falou sobre a ação do Rakan, que era pro Rakan estar fazendo flanco mais ou menos pela bush perto do Blue. Era para eles não estarem se importando com o robô nessa hora, nem com as waves do mid do bot, e só começar o Drake e dar engage caso eles tentassem entrar naquela choke point com superioridade numérica.
I mean, I think Din Kedo also doesn't understand his position. He really never wants to be marking Robo. He wants to be holding choke points. because
Yes,
it's
with the
very
soldiers,
hard. Yeah, it's very hard to engage. They have Poppy. Like how is right side meant to engage against Poppy? The problem is they just like where Azir should be is between the Drake and enemy, and like hitting the Drake while holding the choke, you know, or something along the lines of that, you know. Whereas like, and thank you so much for the sub. I mean, of course they should hit the Drake after they push red side out, but or maybe just Zeri hits the Drake and Azir holds the choke, right? But he needs to understand that like we're really trying to hold this choke position, and I think he's trolling a little bit here because look at Azir as well. Look at Azir. Look at Poppy. Poppy can stop Rakan too with his W. Look, he's just hitting the Drake over the wall. Sees Robo. I mean, we had full vision on Robo. He literally showed on bot side, right? Yeah. So the game is effectively over here because Loud outscale, they outrange. They gave position 3 or 4 times, but they just didn't know how to close. So that's really sad to see.
É que uma coisa que eu falo também aqui do Jinquedo é que o Jinquedo nunca precisa estar marcando o robô nessa situação. Porque ou ele tem que botar os soldados pra bater no Drake, faz o Drake mais rápido possível, ou colocar, posicionar os soldados pra defender o choke point e fightar caso a call seja fightar. Se a call terminar Drake, bota os soldados no Drake, se a call fightar, coloca os soldados pra zonear junto com o Pro Delta. Como ele foi buscar o robô, tentar encontrar o robô no flanco, acabou que ficou ainda mais fácil pra Loud entrar porque não tinha o disengage e o dano do Azir nessa situação.
I think the MVP of this game for paiN Gaming is actually Karyok. I think he's playing well. Can you explain that? I think Karyok is playing well. I think Wise is playing pretty decently. I think B-Boy and Pro Delta didn't understand the 2v2 win con, and I think Azir is making too many mistakes.
Ele falou que basicamente pra ele o MVP se fosse pra pegar um da paiN seria o Carioca.
Yeah.
O Weiser também jogou bem.
Yeah.
Mas a bot não entendeu muito bem as funções da matchup, de como deveria jogar, e que o Jinquedo cometeu bastante erro.
I mean, obviously, I think I'm sure that Robo is a much better player than this. I think he's a multi-champion, right? Multi-time champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is trolling this game. 5 times. He's trolling this game a lot, but it's fine. I'm sure that he's leading the team or something positive, right? Like you never see from
the Loud is they have 2 EGLs. There is like Tinos and Robo because they're by far the most XP, so they have a lot of strong voice. So even when he's like 0-10, he still know how to impact on himself and impact the others. Oh, correct. He's 6 times champion, not 5 times champion. My bad. That's it.
Yeah, so this game, I mean, there's not too much to see from here, right? I think it's just over.
Yeah, that's over. It's over though.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, generally speaking, I think both sides could work on like playing around the objectives better and just understanding what the win condition of their draft is, as well as like team fight position and ward position and turn usage and finding enemy jungler. That's all I can think of right now. But other than that, it's not that bad. I think mechanically they seem okay.
Yeah. I think it's more the key moments to paiN lose the game was first level 1, I agree 100%, and the Drake, not the Drake itself, but the understanding about how to work around the objective setup to decide that is to turn or to complete an objective and leave. This was pretty unclear by them on this crucial moment that cost us the game that actually they have the tools to win it, despite the early game bad, especially in bot lane and the jungle situation about crossing, making vertical jungle in the top, etc. That talk in the early. But even still, if they have a good setup of objective about working their tempo of recall and set up the vision, but after about controlling the vision and set up when to fight, when to turn, and when to finish, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And by this, Loud was able to win.
Yeah. So I think you know, that was a good play from Robo for sure. But let's just screenshot that one as well. Very important. We can make. Can somebody make a meme? Late game Robo versus early game Robo. So late game Robo versus early game Robo. But yeah. Whoa! Let's go. He actually King Konged the Xayah in game and then real life as well. Okay, nice. Okay, I mean, this is what we talked about, how as the game goes now, we'll win side lane. That's the problem. So you want to create some sort of advantage earlier, right? Yeah, not bad. I mean, I think for him to really be like a top level international player, I think Robo, it's just more about like understanding the game from like a big picture perspective and just discipline around like early mid. That will probably be his problem. Like I've never really seen too many games of him, but if he plays like this against like Zeus, he will get murdered. He can't play like this against Zeus. Like T1 will just end the game with this kind of lead, right? Like paiN Gaming would have all the positional advantages, and if T1 had that, they would just win off that. That's essentially like what you need to know. You can't make these mistakes. But like overall as concept, he seems to be a very good player, especially on like a smaller region, minor region. So he has his strengths as a player, and I think he understands how to play the map later on as well. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, because as I said, like regardless how he 0-20 the lane, he always know how to be impactful in the map.
Yeah. But like you can't get away with this. You can't get away with the high
against
ego.
Korean players. No, against Korean players, they just like he'll be just deleted off the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So why are people saying skip game 2?
Oh, because it was, if I'm not wrong, was like one-sided a lot. If I'm not wrong.
Guys, by the way, before we continue, I'd really like to thank all the new followers, guys. It's crazy. I cannot believe it. Dude, I was just like chilling and just trying to say thank you to you guys because I've had so much Brazilian people like message me, say nice things, and I wanted to do some content. I wouldn't expect 1,700 of you to come watch. That's crazy. So thank you so much for all the follows, guys. Thank you for all the subs. You know, normally I read out every sub, but today I can't. There's just way too many. I would spend way too much time. So thank you so much for the follows, guys. Thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot and I appreciate it, okay? Thank you, guys. So let's continue. Why are people saying skip game 2?
Okay, do you want a small spoiler about the game 2?
Yeah.
Do you?
Sure.
Okay, at minute 10, it was 7-1 already. It was 6-0 at 10 minutes.
Okay.
6-0, like hard. It was hard to paiN game the second game.
Okay. I will just look at the draft and then I'll talk about draft, and if I feel like draft is really boom, then we can go next game, okay? So
okay.
Let's do the same thing as game 1. Let's just kind of go over the pick bans. Do you kind of want to say something about the first 3, kind of what you think and whatnot?
No, let's go for it. I think the one thing that I have to bring, it's like because once people only see Loud winning, they think that paiN had a really bad cycle of players, and I think that is not true. paiN have like really good players. They achieved 4 finals of the last 5 in CBLOL, the highest quantity of finals in a team. They just won 1. That's sad. And my perspective as a coach, knowing the some players because I've worked with Jinquedo and Carioca in other teams, I think that what was missing on paiN gaming lineup, it was a clutch player, someone that you can see on your side seat and see, oh, this guy will carry the game if I fucked up. This guy will be the one who will call the responsibility to himself and will manage to win. It's like someone like BRTT, like Revolta, former jungler, Ranger, Titan, and an ADC. The guy has a huge voice inside of the team and will be the captain. You know, there is 5 good players, but for me, at least my perspective, there's no captain on this lineup. And that's the main problem. It was the cherry of the cake was missing to the cake stay perfect, you know. And Loud have all of this and 2 guys to be the captain, Tinos and Robs, and that was what make the gap, like as a lineup perspective of like attitude of the players, you know.
Thank you so much, Mr. 5E, for the sub. I really, really appreciate it. So normally in a team, guys, what you want is you want a culture leader. You want some sort of leader in and out of the game. So someone that you can like work through as a coach. Someone that can create a good working environment. Thank you, No Name FPS. Thank you for the prime time, guys. So many subs. Thank you for all the follows. And so just from my experience when I worked with Croc, he's very passionate, very competitive person. PC Severa, thank you so much for the sub. So generally, like you know, he's someone that kind of can create a team culture that makes people want to win. That kind of makes people put their effort in. W100 Nick, thank you so much for the prime time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the prime sub. Thank you. Obrigado. Thank you. Invert Paranu, Success RX, thank you for the subs as well. Awesome. Woo! Jesus. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Vitor Nikki 4CK and Daisuke as well as Yeezy0. Thank you for the subs, guys. Appreciate it. Oh my god, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, The guys love you. They just
What?
love you. That's it.
Wow, this is
GG.
crazy. That's crazy.
Has said in Brazil, we have a famous in Brazil. We are minor, has competitive region, but we are major, has a size region of entertaining and passionate fans, etc. In that criteria, we are major region.
Dennis Gustavo, thank you for the prime time, and thank you for guys. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. I don't know what to say. This is incredible. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you to Naim Maynards as well as Lucas Morrissey for the sub as well, and thank you for all the follows, guys. One Sync, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. This is crazy. I've never seen this in my life. Eden, Talion Z, and Kaksose, thank you for the subs, guys. I really appreciate it. Guys, I need to do an analysis. This is crazy. It's crazy. RDM BT, thank you for the sub, guys. Thank you for the sub. Caprice Lol and Lip 57369, thank you for the prime time.
Wait, I have subscribed. What the fuck? Oh, someone
gifted it.
Gifted it. Okay.
Jesus.
Obrigado pra quem deu gift aí, guys. Tamo junto.
Obrigado. Thank you, guys. I think, guys,
People think that they started to be an NPC about so much. Obrigado.
Yeah. guys, I don't know. Class 6 eBay Ob, thank you for the subs, guys. I really appreciate it. Did I miss any? Lip 57369, thank you for the sub, guys. Guys, this is crazy. You guys are crazy. Ooh. Honestly, I feel like it's almost a war between Loud and paiN Gaming.
And we can see some Kaboom, some Liberty, other teams.
Yeah. It's like Loud versus guys. I'm sorry to say, but like I don't have a say. I don't have a say whether or not I will like coach your team. You know, like your management needs to reach out. Redmox and Ilirdazian, thank you for the subs, guys. Appreciate it. It's crazy. I don't know. Let's do the draft. Thank you so much. Really. I can't talk.
Just save a moment to thank all of them after. Will be better.
Yeah. M10, thanks for the sub. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, let's go into the review for the draft. So we'll probably skip game 2 because everyone says skip it. But what you're seeing is the same kind of idea. Tristana jacks rail bands on blue side with Kai'Sa first pick. What this tells me is if you look at the first game, guys. Gustavo Dynasty, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. I mean, I feel so bad if I don't say thank you straight away, so I can't do that. I'm sorry.
You're too polite.
People have to wait. But I mean, it's incredible to have so many people watch. But anyway, so if you look at the first draft, you see Loud banning Tristana, right? This means Kai'Sa value goes up, right? So the question is, do they want to pick Kai'Sa first pick, or do they want to pick Xayah first pick? The problem with picking Kai'Sa first pick is that they get Xayah Rakan, right? So they ban Kai'Sa to take the Xayah and trade the Rakan. The other thing they could do, obviously, is just ban Xayah and take Kai'Sa themselves, right? They can take Kai'Sa themselves. But I think what they did was they have a higher priority on Xayah. So paiN Gaming have a higher priority on Xayah.
Can you hear me, guys?
And yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
And what you see is I think Loud have a higher priority on Kai'Sa, especially with Tristana banned. Okay, guys. Once again, thank you so much for the subs and the follows. It's been an incredible stream so far. Normally I have like 50 people watching, so I can thank all the followers as well. That's what I normally do. Like it's really crazy, but today I'm not really able to do that. So can you translate for that for me? I really want them to know, and I'd really want them to know that I'm thankful.
Basicamente, pô, tem cerca de 50 pessoas no stream dele, agora tá com tanta gente aí, ele quer agradecer a todo mundo que tá aí colando, que tá dando subscribe, que tá seguindo ele, dizer que isso é muito maneiro pra ele. E, pô, guys, agora a mensagem minha, continue fazendo isso, pô, pra você trazer mais coach que façam mais conteúdos maneiros que nem ele, sabe? E quem não sabe, o seu foi campeão da LEC no ano passado, já treinou NA também, eu conheci ele na FlyQuest, quando a gente começou a trocar contato. Então, pô, é um cara muito maneiro, ele tá tendo o maior carinho por vocês, como vocês estão tendo por eles. Então, pô, por ele, então é isso aí. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I mean, all I can say is, guys, for this draft, when I see Kaiser LeBlanc, I see outrange because Kaiser can go AP Kaiser. Just better skirmishing, and I don't think that paiN Gaming's draft deals well with this kind of composition. And the reason is, Azir vs LeBlanc is just a very annoying matchup to begin with. And who is Olaf really going to hit? Is Olaf going to chase after the LeBlanc and kill the LeBlanc? It's not possible, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I think what I'm really seeing here is just a big mismatch. I'm not sure if I like the K'Sante on 3. I think the idea behind K'Sante on 3 is that it's just a really good blind pick weak side champion. And maybe Robo doesn't like playing Sion, right? There's like Sion and other champs available. And obviously K'Sante is the better champion of the two. And so from draft, I already see some problems dealing with the LeBlanc, you know, being in flank position. And I also see problems with killing Kai'Sa. Generally, champs that kill Kai'Sa well are champs that outrange. So like, obviously Azir is a good example, but also, you know, champs like Tristana.
Guys, o que ele tá falando que basicamente o que não gostou do draft da Loud foi, que eu também concordo,
Thanks for the 2 gift subs.
é que esse pick da paiN, esse pick de Olaf contra Kai'Sa e depois agora uma LeBlanc vai fazer com que eu não consiga ter threat pra matar ninguém. You hear me?
Yeah, I do.
Ele não consegue ter threat pra matar ninguém. Então, tipo, foi um pick muito cedo. Ele também contestou um pouquinho o pick do Robo de Caçante. Ele falou que perguntou se não poderia jogar com Sion ou algo assim. Mas talvez ele tenha pegado só porque é o campeão mais forte do meta, pra essa posição que ele quer fazer. Mas que já deu pra ver alguns buracos no draft dos dois times.
Yeah, but I do think that K'Sante is probably the best like blind pick top laner right now, just because of the meta, and since Renekton is gone. Obviously, Sion gives a lot less agency, and he has a lot worse matchups. Izaki, Dia Zhao, and Libiotech, thanks for the sub, guys. So, in general, basically, the only thing you need to know is I think this draft is kind of hard to play for the right side of the map. I understand the idea behind picking Olaf into K'Sante. You have a stronger top 2v2, but I just think that right side has like really lackluster scaling and not many answers to deal with, you know, like the LeBlanc on flank and like kind of the early game pressure that Trundle creates. And also I think the 2v2 top side is playable even with Sejuani top because it's Trundle into Sedge. So yeah, in general, I'm not too happy if I'm paiN Gaming side, especially since Kai'Sa is very OP in this patch. They have to snowball early game and play through Drakes.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they fail. So if the problem with paiN Gaming draft is if a team that's really good at playing early game plays it, they can snowball the game. But from what I've seen, I don't think that they're very strong in early game. They're making a little bit too many mistakes.
One thing that I wonder, I don't see if you agree with me, I think the pick of the Olaf, it's kind of bad because once you have Kalista Alistar, your jungle have to babysit this lane, right? They cannot play alone. They have to be babysitting. And once have another aggressive pick on the top, in the red side, if it was on the blue side, I would say okay to get the Olaf because there is less space to gank just the middle of the river. But once you're in the red side, if you just push the wave after the middle of the river, the jungle have already 2 spots to gank you, or the river itself, or the tri-bush from your back. And being a Trundle, it can be a little harder.
Okay, so everyone's saying don't skip. I mean, basically, I agree with everything that you say, and I'd like you to translate this for me. Basically, the issue with the right side comp is 2 things. One is they don't have. Sorry, I was selling my dignity.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Can you explain that I was selling my dignity? They need to understand I'm not normally like this. I'm very professional.
Okay, guys, o que a gente tá falando aqui, eu e ele, é o seguinte, que a paiN tá numa situação onde eles têm que ganhar um early game, senão eles perdem o jogo, muito fácil, e eu complementei, e ele concordou, que é o seguinte, o fato deles terem pego Kalista e Alistar, junto com o Olaf, Kalista e Alistar é uma partida que tem que dar all-in o tempo inteiro. tá? E tem que ter a atenção do jungle pra jogar. Então isso quer dizer que o Olaf vai ficar sozinho. Só que se o Olaf fica sozinho no headside, se vocês forem ver o mapa do headside, o top laner do headside, ele, assim que ele puxa o wave depois do rio, ele fica muito exposto a gank, por trás da Datribush ou pelo rio. Então a partir desse momento, nossa, mais Falcons, a partir desse momento, ele precisa pegar um top um pouco mais self-sustain no top side, que consiga jogar sozinho e que não seja tão punido, porque a Seju tem que ficar bot. Então a PeN tem que ganhar early game e o jungle carioca ele tem que dar um pouco de cover tanto pro top quanto pro bot ao mesmo tempo. E a Seju não vai conseguir fazer isso.
Yeah.
Então fica muito fácil pra bot. That's it.
Lucas Testa, Daisuke Tomato, a medal. Thank you for gifting the subs and also for the sub itself. Lewis as well, really appreciate it. And Biomath, thank you so much for the subs, guys. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are way too nice. You're crazy. Basically, Mahandas Gomez, thank you for the sub as well. The main thing that I want to say is this: like, they have a really hard time dealing with LeBlanc, and then they don't scale very well. They need to play for early game, but they've picked a champion Olaf into Cassante that needs help. In the Olaf-Cassante matchup, if Olaf dies once, Cassante will win the matchup now. But he took the wrong runes. He should take Robo. He should take Conqueror in this matchup.
Yeah, I also agree. To force the 1v1.
So basically, like, the issue with this draft is that paiN Gaming have to go both bot and top.
Oh, they are asking you to watch the 2v2 bot at minute 2.
Yeah, I will.
They want some entertain.
Yeah, I mean, this is how the matchup should go. So Alistar is a Rakan counter, but the thing is, like, Olaf needs to push to play this matchup. And so he needs Sejuani to cover him, right? But if Sejuani's bot, then Trundle can trade sides and Olaf will die, and all Kai'Sa Rakan have to do is not die. So now top lane counter pick is not a real counter pick, right?
Yeah.
So some people are saying skip the game, some people are saying watch the game. I'm gonna watch a little bit and then I'll skip it, okay? I think
only the first 10 minutes, then you can see like, oh my god. For me, the bot lane is GG. Look, Kalista died with the wave around the Kai'Sa's turret, lost all the summoners. Now the jungle have to appear to break the freeze, otherwise it will be even worse to her. And now Carioca show his position, and now they suffer a play on top, like FF. Like there's nothing they can do. Like,
yeah, I mean you can't play 2v2. I mean the game is over here, okay? So this is what we talked about. When you're ahead in tempo, you can do what you want, but when you're behind, you can either trade or defend one turn. So tempo is the ability to move first. Can you explain that outside?
Yeah. Just you can repeat.
And so tempo is the ability to move first. So if you're behind in tempo, you need to defend or trade the opposite side. Croc will most of the time be defending because he has two losing lanes, right? In top and bot in earlier levels. So the problem with this draft is that Carioc needs to cover bot in order to cover the 2v2. And that means that Croc in most cases will be opted to trade on top side, but the way Olaf has to play to Cassante is to push the wave. So not only do they have a huge problem dealing with range and LeBlanc in general, they just have a really hard time playing the map, and they're basically playing weak side Olaf, which is really useless, right? So they need to choose an identity. They should have picked something that with scaling, maybe even something like Jinx could work. Jinx plus like Lulu that can play into LeBlanc. That could have been something that they could do. Yeah. Lulu counters Rakan. Obviously, Jinx counters Kai, so they have double counter in that matchup. There's so many things they could do here, but instead, what ends up happening is Croc trades top side, kills top, and then B-Boy loses his mind and dies 2v2.
Yeah. They need some self-sustain in some of the side lanes, so they can release Carioca. Guys, o que foi o seguinte, é que a gente tá falando. Apesar do Croc ter duas losing lanes, né, nas duas sides, as duas lanes da PeN tem que jogar com muita pressão e com auxílio da jungle. Então, a partir do momento que o B-Boy, que a bot lane da PeN joga mal e morre naquele 2v2 e o Olaf morre no top, os dois counters já foram inúteis agora. Eles já perderam a vantagem que eles tinham na lane. E agora já fica muito mais difícil. O conceito do tempo que ele falou é quando ele sabia que estava da situação do Carioca, pra onde é que ele estava, ficou muito mais fácil do Croc se colocar em tempo advantage para conseguir punir topside. Aí com bot se matando e top tomando gank, acabou o jogo. They want to check the dive. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm looking at the dive. Hey, come to paiN, please, in HTS3. Thanks for the sub, guys. Guys, it's not up to me whether or not I come to you. Like, I need an offer for me to consider anything, right? So what we're seeing here is a dive on bot and a double kill for Blues.
Just watch and enjoy.
Okay. I'll tell you the problem with this. One is like Trundle used his turn top because he has 3 camps top. I'll tell you the game side. Okay. I actually think that Loud troll. Loud is fucking trolling. I'll tell you why. Trundle's tempo is late, so he needs to defend bot wave, right?
Yes,
so this bot wave is actually not Loud's to take because they're 3v2 on bot and they can get dove. So what they actually need to do is they should play with this wave. They should walk in with this wave with Trundle. But they greed and stay bot. So this is a free double kill for paiN Gaming.
Yeah.
Free double kill.
The idea was really good. The problem was the execution.
Yeah, so number one problem, where is B-Boy going? He's going to...
That's what I'm about to say. Why B-Boy go there? He just be with Alistar and he flash combo Kai'Sa and she's dead.
So B-Boy for some reason is taking a trip to Narnia. I'd like you to translate that. He's going to Zimbabwe for fun. He's going on a journey to the middle of the earth.
Ele falou, ele tá falando aqui, tipo, que a ideia do dive foi boa, só que o Void deu uma caminhada pra perto da tribush do rio sem a menor razão pra fazer isso. Nisso tá chegando atrasado pra esse dive e a execução foi ruim.
And second is like they have time, right? So they should wait for him, right? And what should happen is Pro Delta should start with W and then Q. So W and then chain CC, right? But Karaoke and Pro Delta use their Qs at the same time, so they don't chain CC him.
Yeah.
So what should happen is Pro Delta should W when Kallista's in range, Q, then sit in the edge like this, and then drop aggro after 3 tower hits.
Honestly, even if he died to the Kai'Sa itself, it's just to guarantee to be still okay.
Yeah.
Like out-attacking her.
Like Loud is trolling here because even if they trade 1-for-1, they lose this wave. So this Kalista will always build a advantage in lane, right? But what we see is first of all, Karaoke's Q is not great. Second of all, B-Boy's position is not great. And then third of all, what we see is like some really terrible clicking. And you know, Delta here should...
Oh, wait, look for Delta. He have his CC stack. He didn't out-attack with the bonus damage.
Yeah. So if they're gonna play like this, he should just stay and he should just die on the tower, right?
Oh my gosh, he didn't auto him with the E passive stacked.
Yeah.
Or oh my god.
I don't think paiN bot is bad. I think the idea was good. I just think that
good, but the out of time from B-Boy and etc. All that you said completely correct. Make this like so what the fuck.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, I mean, what I'm just seeing is like a little bit of a lack in consistency. But I'm actually gonna stop watching game 2 because I think it is just a stomp from what I can see. I think there's issues in draft predominantly, and then inside the game is not easy to play. Okay. But I mean, in game 1, I actually thought B-Boy played okay. The main issue is that I think Pro Delta is maybe new, so he should call to I think the support should actually call to start in lane in that matchup in game 1. Anyway, moving on. So let's talk about this draft. Game 3 was game 3 a bit more interesting, guys?
Do you want the spoiler?
Game 3 is balanced. Why am I getting skipped game 3?
No, because paiN won game 3. paiN won game 3.
Okay, now we need to watch game 3 then. We need to watch paiN win as well.
We need.
Yeah. We saw 2 games won. Come on, guys. We need to watch. But I'll be as like can you tell them I'll be as like objective as possible. I'm not like.
Ele falou que ele vai ser ele precisa jogo como tá muito tempo fazer o mais objetivo possível.
Yeah, because I don't have a contract in front of me, so I have to be so I have to keep everyone happy. You know, I need people to understand that.
Ele falou que como ele tá sem contrato, ele tem que agradar todo mundo. Então agora ele vai agradar bem.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so tell me, what do you think about the draft?
The draft here, I like they hype prior Rakan a lot, but I don't know if Rakan will be good against Kai'Sa and Sejuani and the possible of the counter pick of the support. The first pick Renekton, I'm not a huge fan when we can give them free sedge. I would rather first pick other thing, to be honest. Could be the Kai'Sa itself, because Loud played really well with this. I don't know if it's just because it was in theory the last game, because Loud win with some consistent the first 2 games. They decide to try new thing about first pick the Renekton and let the Kai'Sa free. Kai'Sa and Sage what takes a lot the power pick of the Kai'Sa and reduce the value of the Renekton. I don't know how you see this.
Yeah, I think what you know how I said that each and Chooser, thank you so much for the sub, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys so much for the support. I mean, it means a lot. So it means a lot, especially because I'm a McDonald's employee now. I don't work for Team Heretics anymore, so I need
we have some spot here in Google if you want. In Portugal here. Let's go.
What we how I talked about in game 1 that a draft tells a story. What Loud is telling me here is they feel really confident if they can just play to engage. If they play front to back and they have solid engage comp, this is their bread and butter. Obviously, they can play range comps like in game 1, but they felt very good about it in game 2. And also, yes, Sejuani's high prior pick, but he doesn't want to blind Sejuani, right? He thinks that maybe blinding Sejuani is not good, but maybe Sejuani Renekton together as a combo is scary. So what Loud is telling me here is 2 things. One is that Renekton prior went up as the series went up, and also they don't want to give them Sejuani Renekton, so they'll take away the Renekton. This is the first thing that you need to understand.
Yeah. In the situation, honestly, I would rather even first pick the Sejuani, and if they pick the Renekton, I can pick the Cassante on it, and my 2v2 will be winning because of the Sejuani factor.
Yeah.
Probably this can be an answer.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the idea is that obviously on blue side, you're blind picking top lane a lot. So with Renekton, with Jax gone, Renekton is probably one of the better blind picks or the best blind pick available. You have like Gragas, Sion, and Gragas, Sion. You could argue.
I read that one that they feel that they're said about the comfort zone about playing an aggressive play style to fight, and the Renekton super good on it.
Yeah.
Probably like I don't think there's like a worst and best draft in this situation. We're more like about what do you feel more comfortable to play with in this situation, because we know best of 5 create their own meta sometimes. A champion that enter with high prio sometimes it gets super counter and disappear for the rest of the series, or some champion that is like just average in the tier goes higher because the players is playing suburb with it.
Can you also explain that people need to realize that if Zeri, like as a best of 5 goes on, confidence and meta and priority picks change, because what happens is if you start winning on a champ, it might not be OP overall, but it could be OP on the day, because the enemy team is not dealing with the champ well, for example. So I think what Loud is saying is, hey, we're really comfortable on Zeri. We've just won a game on Zeri. In game 1, we feel that whenever See'el has Rakan, we can't lose. And what paiN Gaming are saying is this. What paiN Gaming are saying is, you know what, fuck it. We tried to play Xayah, right? But Xayah's not working out for us, so we're going to ban Xayah ourselves and take Kai'Sa. And if they take Kai'Sa away, we're going to play full early game. We're going to play Tristana or we're going to play Kalista. Right? Yeah. So I think what paiN Gaming are showing here is that they're really angry about game 2. They want to show that they can play the front to back. They can play the engage comps. They can play the aggressive dive comps as well. And this is a message that they're sending, because number 1, when you have Kai'Sa and Nautilus together, I think it's a good answer into Zeri Rakan. You win your early game skirmishes. You have the option to kind of push in lane. And number 2, by taking Sejuani away from the Renekton side, there's a lot of other combos that you can take against the Renek side, even though, in this case, Jax is gone. There's also Sejuani Cassante together that makes the Renekton lane playable, although Renekton is a counter to Cassante. It's a lot better with Sedge. And then there's also things like Olaf and Claire and a lot of these other random champions. And maybe what they're even saying is, you know what, we think Sejuani is just a really good champ. Even if we don't have a melee champ, we can pick things like Gnar and just use it for engage. That also makes sense, right?
Yeah, but also again, like the Cassante is still strong, but I'll translate everything. Right now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, o que a gente tá falando é o seguinte, a gente tava questionando o porquê do first pick Renekton com Kai'Sa up, com Seju up e tal, e a gente tava chegando a gente tava falando uma coisa que é muito verdade. Quando você tá no melhor de 5, muitas vezes o meta muda. Um campeão que era super high prio na MD5, se descobre um counter dele, ele perde completamente valor. ou um campeão que era mais ou menos no tier, acaba subindo muita prioridade porque o jogador tá jogando muito bem com ele no dia. Ou um campeão que nem estava previsto para aparecer, aparece, domina e precisa ser banido. Então o MD5 ela cria o próprio meta de acordo com o estilo jogando. E o que a gente fala aqui é, a Loud quer, vamos garantir o Renekton, que tá o campeão mais forte dessa série, então ele tá acima da Sejuani e da Kai'Sa nessa situação. E o que a PEN aqui tá querendo dizer nesse draft é, o que aconteceu no jogo anterior foi só um erro de percurso, da gente ter divado errado, perdido 2-2 quando deveria perder. Se a gente joga com posição de early game agressivo, a gente consegue estompar e ganhar o jogo. Não foi o draft que fez a gente perder o último jogo, foi o dedo. Foi a
Yeah.
falta de coordenação. That's it.
Did you explain the Renekton Sedge kind of dynamic? How, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said how like the Renekton are more comfortable in this series, goes high probably because of this, getting even over Sedge and Kai'Sa, so they give it to them, and then they prefer to have the Renekton because of the momentum of the champions of the series.
Hey guys, how do I enable VODs? I don't really use Twitch much.
We are boomers.
What do I do? Because I want to like, because people are saying they want to watch. So I want to like, oh, found it. Okay, so if you guys want to catch up on the stream, it's available now. I don't know why that was on, but it was on for subs only. So, yeah, you guys can watch that last VOD. And then going in, what you see on the left side is a pretty clear composition that wants to go in. They have Rakan, Renekton, two champs that don't excel when they're outranged. And what right side is saying is, okay, you want to engage? We can engage too. We're going to fight as well, right? But the difference is, if you come into us, we're going to blind pick Talia. And obviously, like, dashing into Talia is really annoying, right? Talia, a very good champion to Rakan, Zeri, as well as Renekton. A triple counter pick. The problem with Talia here, guys, is there's a lot of bad matchups. I don't think a Korean team would ever draft like this. But if Pen Gaming are comfortable, this is what they should do. So once again, there's a big difference between comfort and what's optimal. And there's a difference between a better team that can play everything and a winning team. Can you explain that?
So sorry, repeat the final because my bugged my headset.
So what I said was there's a difference between a winning team and a better team. So a better team and a winning team. What you see with Talia here is a triple counter pick where Talia is good into Rakan, Zeri, and Renekton because they're coming into them. But it's not necessarily the best blind pick because there's still a lot of mages up. And also the right side Pain Gaming comp want to go in. They have Nautilus, Kai'Sa, and Sejuani. So Talia doesn't necessarily fit into the draft perfectly, and there's a lot of lane counter picks. But once again, it could just be comfort for Dynic. Dinquedo, I don't know how to pronounce that. Dinquedo. So there's a difference between, you know, a better team and a winning team. And what you're seeing here is Pain Gaming really trying to be a winning team and pick their style and play their style and play what's comfortable for them.
Yeah. Ok. O que ele tá falando aqui, guys, tem uma diferença muito grande no draft, isso é muito verdade, tem a diferença entre o melhor draft e o draft ganhador. Aqui, na situação normal, a Talia nunca seria a melhor opção de quarto você blindar esse mage no mid, que tem várias situações que são boas contra ele. Mas como eles já pegaram Renek, Zeri e Rakan, da qual ela se dá bem, e ela tem uma certa sinergia com os outros campeões, se o jogador tá confiante no dia para pegar o campeão, ele pode pegar e pode performar bem. E aí você não pega, aspas, o que seria melhor pelo meta, mas na teoria ganha. And that's actually bring to a thing that we have this huge problem in Brazil actually, and I'm completely against it. That is like we are slave of the meta like kids.
Yeah. So
I heard some players saying like, oh, let's bring this champion to the competitive because it fits the situation, but say, oh, but nobody plays it in Korea and China, for example.
Yeah.
So, but why?
So what I want people to understand is I am Korean, but I was like raised in Australia. And so my actual region is Australia, and Oceania sucks. We're so bad. So if you think about, so when I talk about Brazil having their own style, I'm not putting down Brazil. What I'm saying is that we need to be realistic because in Korea and China, these kids play 16 hours a day. We're not going to be able to catch up, right? This is not possible. And they have the best infrastructure and the best everything in zero ping. So when you look at Europe as an example, a region that I've worked in for over 2 years now, 2.5 years, I worked in the French league. I also won the championship in 2022. I told my players the same thing, that we don't need to be Korea. We need to be Rogue. We need to be our style, right? Same for this year. And this is the most important thing that Brazilians have to realize as well, right? You need to play your style. You need to play your strength. You need to play what's good for you. Think about the most successful Western region that has ever been created, which is G2 in 2019. They played Pike top. They played everything. They played so many flex picks. They could play mid top with perks. This is their strength. And so this is kind of what I want to see from Loud and from paiN Gaming. And I'm seeing paiN Gaming really go back to their comfort and play their style, so I'm happy about that. Now the issue is there are counter picks. There are ways that you can play against this. The issue with Taliyah is you can be outranged. And if I was Loud here, I would not just pick Ahri Vi because I think it's OP and because my team is going in. Because now Taliyah counters all 5 of my champions.
I would pick Victor, actually.
I mean, I like Victor, but I prefer Orianna. The problem with Victor is...
Same thing almost.
The problem with Victor is you're very immobile and you like champs coming into you, whereas Ori has a lot of mobility and he can follow up on Rakan by balling Rakan.
Oh, yeah, true.
So you win the lane, but you also have push and you have multiple ways that you can play the lane phase. And you can so that's kind of why I like things like Orianna. And yeah, so I mean, I don't like Ahri Vi. I think Loud hard lost this draft. I think Loud won the other 2 drafts, but this one is a hard lost draft, and paiN Gaming have their full comfort, it seems. Can you explain what
I resume, yeah. O que a gente tá falando aqui no final era, voltando um pouquinho ao ponto da Taliyah, né, ser o campeão que você escolhe pra ganhar quando está confiante, etc. E ele bateu muito agora na tecla, a gente bateu muito desse pique de Ahri aqui no 4-5, porque é um campeão que não joga tão junto com o que a Loud tem. E o problema, um dos principais problemas da Taliyah é que ela só sofre out-range na lane, e de um modo geral, ela perde muito do valor dela. Então, quando você pega a área, você não perde tanto esse range. Então, eu dei a ideia do Victor, porque é um campeão que dá out-range nela também e consegue controlar a zona. Ele é a ideia da Orianna, que é um outro estilo, porque a Orianna, ela consegue dar out-range, ela tem velocidade, ela consegue ajudar o Rakan a ser uma fonte primária de engage. Porque ela dá a bola no Rakan, Rakan vira fonte primária de engage, o próprio Renekton. Campeões têm que ir pra dentro. Então, assim, esse pique de área fez com que a Loud perdesse o draft razoavelmente. Ele falou hard losing, mas perdeu o draft bastante, de acordo com ele.
Wow, I mean, I can't believe this, dude. Like, Brazil is so crazy. I have 1,900 views. I'm like mind blown. Wow. What the fuck? Thanks, guys. You guys are cool.
Join CBLOL, this will be daily. Just saying, you know? Just saying.
Guys, I won a championship in Europe and they're like,
No, honestly, I have my example. When I won CBLOL in Kabul 2018,
yeah.
In Kabul, I love Kabul, but Kabul is not a high fan base team, right?
Yeah.
Even still, everybody, oh my gosh, and like 6,000 people and everyone screaming, and you felt the stage shaking when you entered the stage. It was bizarre.
I mean, I made world's quarters, and I'm just like being chilling, you know, like some people know me and stuff. But yeah, I think this draft is already kind of hard to play. How would Loud kind of win this game? Well, I think that Renekton Olaf is actually playable for the Renek side. The problem is they got Olaf plus Sejuani.
Yeah.
This should have been a part of their ban in the second phase. They should have banned the rest of the melees because Jax is already gone.
Yeah.
You know, I think
probably Olaf Cassante bounce and then forcing a Gnar or even a cannon, something like this.
Yeah. I mean, I think something like that. Yeah. Or if they really need a winning lane, they can just open up Gnar because Renekton still has a window to gank. Renekton still has a window to win that lane. Like Renek Gnar is Gnar favored the later the game goes, but you have a window in the first 3 waves. You can build a wave. You have push. You can dive. You can with Poppy, and you can also dive at level 6 and take first herald. So I think Renek into Gnar maybe a bit better for the Loud. And like the way Loud need to play is they need Croc to be really creating advantages on the map and numbers on the map and just like snowballing through that way. Whereas paiN Gaming just need to chill. If they just get to the mid late game, no one can stop them inside. No one can stop them in team fight. I think they don't Loud don't have the option to play range. And when you're playing fist fight into Taliyah Kai'Sa as Ahri, Poppy, Renekton, Zeri and Rakan, it's not really easy to win. And they also have the Nautilus to deal with the Zeri. So a very, very good game from paiN Gaming, a very good draft from paiN Gaming.
One thing that I was realizing right now, you see if you agree with me about the mid pick. I think one more factor that make Ahri a bad pick and bring or Victor or Orianna such a good pick is a clear wave factor. Because if the game starts bad to Loud, and they still have this clear wave, because look paiN team, right? They don't have siege turret at all.
Yeah.
So if I have a longer range clear wave and I start the game badly, I can just be clear waving, stall the game as max as possible so Zeri can jump in the game. But once I have Ahri both teams have no siege turret at all, like
Yeah.
strong siege turret. So
I mean, that's another reason why I prefer a mage, even though it's not Tinone's style. Because, I mean, the way you have to think about it is, as you said, you have no wave clear, so you can't stall the game if anything goes wrong. And you're just running into the Talia, right?
yeah.
And something else that I forgot to mention is, guys, when you think about how Loud want to play, champs like Ari and Rakan want to flank. But good luck flanking in this game. Like, it's like they have a very good answer to it. They have Kai'Sa ulti, they have cleanse, they have Talia. It's very hard to kind of like flank and run into them, especially with like Nautilus as well. So I just think that fights are going to be hard, and it's gonna come down to winning 2v2s.
Let me translate about what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, o que a gente falou é o seguinte, guys, tipo, eu chamei a atenção dele pro caso de mais um fator. Ele falou a situação do Renek não jogando top. O fator, tipo, o Renek joga bem com o Olaf, mas o fator Sejuani Jungle desbalanceia muito essa matchup e faz com que o Weiser consiga controlar as primeiras 3, 4 waves melhor. Ainda mais quando a Sejuani tá perto. E eu trouxe pelo ponto de que o fato deles terem pego o Ari fez com que a paiN não tem nenhum siege em torre, não tem nenhum long range damage em torre para poder bater. Então, se o Tinoz pega aqui uma Orianna ou o Victor, algum long range mage, para poder crinar o wave, caso eles começassem o jogo mal, eles poderiam ficar colocando esse mid para ficar crinando wave e dar stall no jogo até a Zeri entrar. E agora, como nenhum dos dois times tem seed em torre, só tem fight, o time que começar ganhando na bola. E ele também falou que a Ari e o Rakan são campeões de flanco, só que é muito difícil você flancar e dar dash contra uma composição que tem Nautilus, Sejuani e Talia. É difícil pegar esse flanco contra eles.
What does Fazol mean, by the way?
Hã?
Fazol.
Faz o
Faz what?
Faz o L. It's like make the L. It's the calling of the fans of Loud. Like make the L, and then the fans make the L
Oh no.
with the fingers. That's why.
Okay, guys. Okay, don't kill each other. Okay, chill.
Faz o L, faz o P. Make the.
Faz your Brazil. Yeah, I love you all. Chill. Okay, chill. But fuck. Okay. Okay. Faz P. Okay. Faz what do I have to say? Faz what?
Faz o P. Faz o
P.
P.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love all Brazilian teams. Okay. I love all Brazilian teams. When I have the contract in front of me, then you can. You know what I mean?
Demand to make the P.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. You know. Okay. So going back into it, I saw some really illegal shit here on bot side. So B-Boy leashes and Nautilus trades level 1. So B-Boy is queuing the wave to try contest push, but they don't have control of this middle brush. This middle brush is really important for like volatile matchups or matchups where you want to get push. So I actually think Pro Delta is not at fault here. I would like B-Boy to be like positioned right side to contest this push. Because now he's used Q, so they lose the trade.
Yeah.
And Root can play to just push the wave, right?
In the crash of the next one.
Have mercy, please. I mean, I don't want to go too hard on players. I'm just telling you what I see, okay? So, I mean, basically in this matchup, like Olaf will like have kill. Anyway, so
Shit happens, okay.
I mean, it happens, guys. It happens. Shit happens, okay? We don't bully him like this. I mean, I'm not seeing anything really special so far. Obviously, normally the Rennek Olaf side is hard early, like first 3 levels, because you can get better push with Q and your all-in is better, and you also take Ghost in the matchup. But Rennek has TP advantage normally, and if Olaf takes TP, Rennek is actually winning. So what you actually want to do is, I mean, you're mostly playing to catch the wave and maintain HP and don't trade on the bounce wave. And then trade HP to push, and then eventually, like, there's a window where Rennek can win, you know? Basically.
Yeah.
But it's not like one-sided as people think. You can still win as the Rennek side.
Yeah. Actually, it depends wiser to throw on his throw of the axis, then you have more chances.
Yeah.
But like it's like the point, guys, tentando explicar, assim, a matchup pode ser jogada pro Renekton, tá? Só que ele depende que o Olaf erre pra ele poder jogar essa matchup tipo sem sofrer muito. Mas não é como se fosse tipo GP contra Renek, que o Renek não joga matchup, GP fica bullyingando ele a inteira. Não é nesse nível que a gente tá trazendo, entende? É difícil pro Renek, mas não é injogável. I say that it's not like GP against Renek that is like unplayable for Renek, you know? It's
Okay.
hard, but it's playable.
So the problem with the Renek side is normally when you push out the wave, you need to trade HP for push. And he already died wave 2, so he actually needs cover on top. And they don't have vision on Sejuani, so what they should actually be doing is looking for Sejuani as an objective. It's the same issue as game 1, right? What Loud is suffering is they're not really finding information around the Sejuani so that they can play lanes accordingly. They're just playing the game. And see, like, look how dark the map is. What is Blue Side's perspective? Blue Side sees nothing. So Renekton has to play 1v2 here with zero vision. And obviously it's like not good that he got chunked here, but he doesn't really have an option. He has a bad wave. I think the only option that he has is probably to just B, because the problem is even if Poppy runs top, they lose 2v2. But they... Hey, Corone XLL, thank you so much for the sub, and thank you guys, thank you so much for the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. I just want you to explain this part. Basically, like, if they find the enemy jungler and they know that Sejuani can use a turn top or is not bot, they can at least dive bot with Poppy. And this is what they need to do. As I said, the key kind of knowledge that the key kind of playmaking that Loud have to do is through Croc early game and through Poppy dives. But what they're seeing right now is obviously Robo making a mistake, but it's not just his fault. It's actually the fault of everyone, right? It's the fault of the blue side not finding enemy jungle and not trading the map. Because look at Croc right now. He's like playing around mid, right? Whereas what he needs to do is he really needs to be bot trading the map. And they still don't know where Sedge is. They're so scared. So now he opts to trade, right? But Robo's already in a bad position. If Robo knows that enemy Sedge is not bot, then Robo will sit on the tower and just press B and go down 2 levels. It's fine. I mean, it sucks, but it's fine. It's his mistake. But instead, now he has to flip the wave. And then now when Sejuani shows top, then Poppy gets confidence. But it should be the other way around. Yeah. Poppy should find Sedge. And if Sedge is bot, then Renekton just trades HP to try get the wave in. If Poppy doesn't find Sedge, then they force the dive on bot, and Renekton just Bs and loses something. This is a standard trade map situation. Can you explain this?
Yeah. Ele falou basicamente que nessa situação aqui, em resumo, quando se o robô não sabe onde é que tá o carioca, ele só vai se sentar na torre, dar recal, ficar 2 levels atrás, mas acontece. Mas a partir do que ele não sabe e eles não conseguem pegar a informação do outro lado do mapa onde é que tá Sejuani, ele tem que dar coin flip nessa wave. E a partir do momento que ele dá coin flip nessa wave, ele aparece, ele além de ficar 2 levels atrás, ainda vai perder a wave inteira. Então isso é muito ruim pra ele. E ficou numa situação em que a Pop tinha que forçar a Sejuani a fazer uma play, a aparecer no mapa primeiro, não ao contrário, não a Sejuani forçar a Pop a responder, a Pop forçar a Sejuani a responder, dando esse dive no bot. Só que eles a Croc não jogou. One point, I think in this situation they didn't use the factor of Tinos have the prior properly, because if they did it, Croc would enter in the jungle way earlier and like legit hunt.
Well, even if he doesn't have mid prior, the point of playing a low tempo jungler is that you need to be active and you need to find enemy jungle. Yeah. You need to do one of 2 things. You either need to hide your position or you need to fight enemy jungle. When you would hide your position if you have losing lanes. But right now, bot lane is winning. And yeah, obviously like mid does matter, but it's Talia, right? So it's not like they're going to lock him down and one-shot him with Sejuani pre-6. So even if Poppy sees Sejuani, he'll just use phase rush and run away. So Poppy should actually be looking for Sedge here. And the way that Talia works is that basically Talia is a champion that needs Q, like his base damage is predominantly around his Q scaling. It's the same as when... Whoa, what the fuck? Okay. The way that Talia works is the same as like most other base damage champions like Aatrox, right? So when you see Talia Q damage, his damage goes up significantly based on the amount of points he put on it. So level 4 to level 5 is generally when he starts to get stronger, because he'll have a base timing with some AP, normally a lost chapter, and he'll also have 90 AP. So he does about double the damage with 3 points in Q. So that'll be level 5. And the timing that Talia starts to get pry is level 7 to 9. So level 7 to 9 is when he has 4 to 5 points in Q, where he can contest the push. But early levels, Ari will win and Ari will have push. So he needs to use the fact that Ari has push, and he needs to use the fact that Croc has the ability. Croc has the ability to find Sedge and trade the map constantly. They need to win early game somehow, right?
Yeah. O que eu falo basicamente o seguinte, o fator de que o Croc, como a gente tinha falado antes, o Croc tem que entrar na jungle pra achar o Carioca, tá? Porque tem que jogar agressivo. Eu ainda falei, com a pressão da Ari, eles podiam rodar primeiro e o Croc entrar mais cedo ainda. Ele falou que, apesar da pressão, a Thalia iria conseguir acompanhar, por ser uma Thalia, mas também tinha que se aproveitar essas janelas pequenas que a Ari tem, pelo fato de que ela só consegue contestar o push mesmo da área a partir do level 7, porque quando o Q já tá no nível 4, onde ele consegue dar tipo, praticamente um one shot na wave e fica muito mais fácil de acompanhar. Então,
yeah, I mean, as I said, like the point of this game is you need to be able to trade the map, and the realistically when Robo died the second time to Sejuani and the bot side dive failed and they ended up trading the map, the game is over here. This is the way you need to think.
Honestly, it's just like the last one, but the point is like instead of Loud in pulling the trigger better, because they legit they did the same. They make a vertical jungle, and then now paiN pull the trigger better and faster than Loud, and then the game is over.
Exactly. So it's all about like kind of training the map and understanding how to play the game. And at the highest level, guys, the game is played in turns. So if you use a turn on bot, generally the other team will have a turn on top. And so that's kind of what Robo is probably basing his information on. He's probably just flipping for the wave and seeing if he can get the wave in. But it's not really being done. And I think generally speaking, when you look at, you know, like even mid-tier LEC and below, they don't understand this concept. And definitely not in like minor regions like Oceania, Brazil, Latin America.
We have a serious problem about, for example, let's say my team communicated that the other team will make a dive on top. Right? I'll make a dive on top. My team will make a dive on top. So my team don't have the capacity of like, okay, I'll make a dive on top. So in 30 seconds to a minute, they can manage to make a cross map on their high tempo on my bot. So instead of like freeze, I'll hard push one wave to force the bounce back. So then they cannot gank me. For example, if I have a super clear wave, I won't be dive because I have Varus has a clear waver, right? They don't have this understanding of like in special manipulate wave to reduce the windows of the cross map. I think that's one of the major problem that we have as a region, to be honest.
So I'm not saying this once again to like put down Brazil. It's just that it's my experience from when I coached in minor ERLs and minor regions as well. It's just how it is in general. And oftentimes this is a harder to grasp concept because the game is so fast. But once you grasp this, the way that you play your early games is going to look a lot better. Okay. So
let me translate?
Yeah, sure.
O que ele tá falando que basicamente a situação de cross-map, onde muitas regiões não conseguem coordenar tão bem o cross-map sendo feito, o tempo e etc. Foi isso que ele trouxe de assunto. E aí eu coloquei que a nossa maior região, um dos nossos maiores problemas como região no Brasil é o seguinte: quando eu sei que o meu time vai dar um dive top, o meu bot side não joga de acordo em manipulação de wave, em recal, por exemplo, em vez de, sei lá, eu vou fazer um dive top e a wave tá midada, ele vai querer fazer slow push para poder pocar o ADC adversário e tirar da lane. Em vez de só fazer o hard push e forçar o bounce back da wave para reduzir a chance de gank, porque a wave vai estar voltando para minha torre. Eu tenho um Varus que clina muito bem wave. Por exemplo, o time do Brasil não tem esse entendimento tão rápido do que fazer para evitar o cross-map. Então, você vai fazer uma play de um lado do mapa, você toma do outro, e você toma do outro. Então, o conceito de turno que ele está falando, o turn concept, que ele trouxe no início, pra gente não tá se aplicando tanto, porque toda jogada que você tenta, ela meio que acontece, tá? That's it.
So, I mean, from this position, generally, it's going to be harder to play, as I said, for the loud side. But what should you do when you're behind in the game? This is what most people don't understand. It really depends. I mean, but generally speaking, you want to be constantly trading. So if you trade 50-50 when you're behind, it's good for the game, right? As a concept. So basically what you need to understand is this. So say you play chess, right?
I'm 900, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trash at chess, but what you need to understand is like, imagine you play chess and you don't have a queen. Is this game winnable? Like, is this game winnable? You don't have a queen. You start off with no queen. This game is infinitely more hard, right? Like, all competitive games are designed in a way where if you make a mistake early, you're meant to lose, right? You're actually meant to lose if the other side doesn't throw. So what you're really seeing here is if paiN Gaming play properly, it shouldn't be possible to win. And that's what people need to understand about League of Legends. Playing from behind is not so much about, I mean, there is technique to it, but it's not so much about being so good at playing from behind. It's just the fact that enemy team needs to throw and you need to not throw more and just know how to trade the map. These are the only two skills you need to know. So what Loud need to do is they need to accept they don't win skirmishes and they need to try find either fights with numbers or some sort of vision advantage fight and constantly trade the map and constantly trade gold, okay? Can you explain that? And then we'll just play.
O que foi basicamente foi uma comparação, uma analogia com o xadrez, né? Quando o xadrez se joga sem a rainha, é muito mais difícil de jogar. E quando você comete um erro muito forte no early game, você não só tem que saber jogar atrás, você tem que esperar que o outro time erre. Se o outro time não errar, você vai perder o jogo, não importa o que você faça. Então, esses erros de early game que podem snowballar são muito difíceis de voltar, tá? Então, assim, quando você tá atrás, de novo, não depende só de você jogar bem. O outro time tem que trollar muito para perder aquela vantagem que ele conseguiu, por exemplo, da rainha no xadrez que ele falou, e aí conseguir voltar pro jogo. That's it.
Yeah, and people are saying Robo does not know this concept, but, you know, the way that I see it...
Honestly, he knows. But I just started, but I think the point is, he kind of don't respect it in the region because he know regardless what happened, he will be impactful and he know how to win the game. He know the tools. But once he is in the international stage, he play completely different. He did this in the last Wars in MSI.
Well, I mean, what I can say about that is that when you look at Robo as a player, what you're seeing here is you're really seeing a Chad. I don't really see a difference. So it's not that he doesn't know, it's that he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck, okay? That's what's happening.
Traduzindo, a pessoa falou que o robô não sabe o conceito. Eu falei aqui, não é que o robô não saiba o conceito. Ele sabe. Só que ele joga de maneira inconsequente no Brasil, porque sabe que mesmo se ele faz 0-5 na lane, ele vai ser impactante. Quando ele joga fora, no International Stage, ele não joga assim. Ele joga respeitando muito mais. He respects way more the other opponents because he knows he won't have these windows that he has.
Yeah. But a part of like a good player's trait is to know when to play exploitative. So know when to play like different against different players. Like, for example, I had a player called Ebi, right? Who won Japan like 8 times. He knows how to win in Japan. He didn't really know how to win in LEC, but he knew how to win in Japan, right? So like knowing how to win in your local region is a really valuable skill as well, because you need to be able to get to Worlds in the first place, right? That's why he's a prize player. Make sense? So what Robo is doing a lot of the time, getting deep pushes, like pushing leads and whatnot and pushing limits is also a good thing, right? Obviously, ideally, he knows how to play like perfectly, but it's not possible. He doesn't have the same practice partners, right? Like Zeus is literally playing against like Kian and, you know, Bin every second day. And Robo's playing with some random guy, like... It's not easy. It's not easy. So, I mean, what I want to see here is like, this is another situation, like, when you match the side that's winning, you will never win. So what Robo should be doing here is he should actually be opening hard through mid, trade bot tower, top tower, and take bot tower, right?
Yes.
I think maybe what he's trying to do here is he's basically saying, I'm 0-4, I'm going to die for the wave. And what I would like to... Yeah. Or he's just like, fuck. Maybe he actually just doesn't know what he's doing, right? We will never know, right? We will actually never know. Like, truth is, I can't read Robo's mind. So I don't know if he's actually a Chad or if he's just like kind of stressed out in the moment.
I think if it is under the national stage, he would like just recall.
It's possible.
Poppy and Rakan push mid to play towards bot and try to exchange turret, even being super late on tempo.
What makes me kind of hesitate to know whether or not he knows what he's doing is bad is Croc is also here, right? So if he was really playing to 1v2, we would have seen Croc already bot and they would have played into bot, you know? So I'm not sure the evidence is there for me to know that Robo knows. Maybe he actually just doesn't know, and that's okay, right? This is something that you need to learn, but it could also be because Loud is used to stomping scrims, like not used to like playing from behind, right? So I will never know because I've never worked with him. Just the main thing we need to understand is when you're behind, guys, you want to trade the map, right? You know how we talked about easy to understand concepts for players? It's the same thing, right? Easy as shit, right? If you're losing, don't fight them 2v2.
And
Trade.
Super important is like, guys, when you guys are losing, you never play towards your lose lane. That's a thing that actually Tabby told me when I was a SeeEl coach. In this situation, for example, we have a top side 5-1, okay? But my ADC and my mid are 3-0. My mid and my ADC. So my jungle will never see the color of the skin of Robo ever again.
Yeah.
You just play towards mid bot and play towards because where they got the kills. Because for example, if they play towards bot, it will be actually 3v3 in kills.
So
because the kills will be stuck on all of on top side. You're never gonna match the strongest guys. You're gonna go the readers.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been in the scene long enough, right? What's happening here in comms is he's saying, I'm being dove, can you cover me? Can you cover me? Because why would Poppy be top? Why would Ari use her TP? Right? Why would Ari use her TP here, right? So I have enough evidence here for me to state that this is just bad macro from Loud. Right? And I'm getting a lot of confirmations that Loud has 85% scrim win rate, which makes sense. They don't really know what to do when they're behind, right? So can you translate what I just said?
Ele falou que pelas evidências que apareceram, não parece ser muito o fato de que o time sabe os conceitos e tá jogando tipo, como é que eu vou explicar? Sabendo jogar o mapa nessa hora. Eles estão muito mais não respeitando por não saber, por não querer puxar mid e jogar bot nessa hora. E porque senão a área não ia ter lá e o Croc não ia tentar defender o dive numa play que já estava perdida nessa situação.
Yeah. Does everyone understand? Like playing from behind and knowing these concepts is also a skill. So this position, everything that I see in this game is I'm seeing like mistakes. Wrong translation?
Nah, always there's someone to say it.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. And then what ended up happening is essentially what I'm seeing is just Robo and Loud continuing to fight when they're losing. The best kind of metaphor that I would... Thank you so much for the prime time, Erica Trist. Much appreciated. The way that I see this situation is very similar to breaking a rock with an egg. So it's like when you're losing and the other guy has a rock, right? There's a rock, okay? And what you're doing is you're getting an egg and you're trying to break the rock. You know? You're trying to like smash the egg against the rock and expecting to win. Boom, 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 boom. You know? So this is not going to work ever. Whenever you're playing solo queue, guys, this also applies to you in solo queue. You really want to make sure that you don't get your egg and try to break the rock. You want to trade the opposite side, okay? You want to be going to the opposite side of the map and trying to trade. Trade gold, trade gold, trade gold. If you trade 50-50, you win. Okay? You're winning. If you're losing and you trade 50-50, you win. And from here on, I just assume the game is over. I don't really need to see much more, I think. It's not really possible for the left side to win.
It's not. Yeah, just to translate one more thing that I forgot to tell. Guys, eu tava falando meio negócio, eu falei uma coisa que eu particularmente aprendi com o Tab, quando eu tava sendo assist coach ali na Kabum em 2019, que é o seguinte, você nunca joga pra solo losing lane, tá? Se o robô tá 0-5 lá no top e o Wise tá 5-1, você nunca vai jogar o seu mid top pra proteger aquela lane. Você sempre vai jogar pro seu ADC que tava 1-0 e pro seu mid que tava 2-0. Pra quê? Pra você tentar afundar mais rápido o mid bot dos caras do que o seu top vai ser afundado.
Yeah.
Então você nunca joga pra losing lane, você sempre joga pra winning lane. E isso a Loud mostrou, tipo, que aparentemente tem falhas nesse jogo, tá? That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, I think that, like, guys, I also want people to understand that while I can analyze the game and I have experience, you know, with the game and whatnot, coaching in real life and in person, in the pressure, in the moment, thank you so much for the sub, Coldy Water, is completely different from what I'm doing right now. Like, they have so much pressure, they have to adapt to the moment, they have to also go by instinct. So when I say this stuff, I just want you guys to realize that I'm not talking down any of the coaches. I'm sure that Brazilian coaches are amazing. I'm sure Billsy's done an amazing job. I'm sure that paiN Gaming coach has done an amazing job. But what I'm saying is that in paper, in theory, it's very difficult. Right? Can you make sure that they understand that? Because in theory, what they're doing is wrong.
I'll even add something like they have to know that like in the draft in the series sometimes like a guy just not confident to play with the champion or his pool don't attend to it or even his pool attend to it but the team style don't attend to it. So this can shape a lot of draft because in paper we presume that the guy play all the 200 champions, right? And
Exactly.
can play anything. But that's not how it works in real life.
Yeah,
Guys,
and confidence and mood and all that, right?
Yes.
Imagine how much stress paiN Gaming is under. They're down 2-1 in the biggest game of the year. And they have to, if they lose one more, they're out, right? Like, and I've been in this situation before, right? Obviously, I had a pretty bad year this year, but if you look at kind of like, if you look at what we did in the finals, you know, we also played in front of 20,000 people, you know? So I know what it's like, and the pressure of playing under 20,000 people, you don't think the same, you don't react the same, players don't react the same, players don't feel the same. It's different. So obviously you need to have a lot of like sympathy for these players and these coaches, okay?
Guys, o que a gente tá falando é o seguinte, a gente tá falando aqui do draft e tal, mas a gente não pode ficar dando blame no coach da paiN ou no coach da Loud, porque a gente falar que as opções no papel é muito fácil. Ele podia ter pego esse campeão, podia ter pego esse outro. Tem muitos fatores que influenciam. Tem a confiança do jogador. Esse jogo aqui eu não tô muito confiante para jogar com esse campeão. Tem a pool do jogador que às vezes não atende ao campeão que o coach precisa. Isso acontece, ninguém sabe jogar com todos os 200 campeões. Ou até às vezes o jogador sabe jogar com aquele campeão, mas ele muda o estilo da composição de uma maneira que o time não está desempenhando tão bem, não desempenhou também nos treinos. Aí um fator confiança, etc. Então a gente jogar tipo, esse campeão é ruim para pegar, esse campeão é bom, é muito vago num momento tão crítico quanto o quarto jogo de uma MD5 no qual você está perdendo. Entende? Então, assim, a gente só tá dando a nossa opinião, eu e o SeeEl, em cima do que poderia ser feito pensando num league completo, num league onde todo mundo joga com tudo e não tem pressão e não tem nada, mas não é o fato. Lá como ele já esteve já na Europa, eu já estive já no final do CBLOL, é bem diferente na hora H, entende? That's it.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next kind of review. Obviously, guys, I don't have any connection to any of the coaches. I'm just trying to be empathetic relative to like my situation and what I've gone through. Anyway, so final game. So much pressure on the line. Everything's on the line. The CBLOL title is on the line. If paiN Gaming is able to win this last game, they're able to secure a game 5, and you know they can make this. They can maybe rewrite history. Right, that's what's on the line for paiN Gaming. If they're able to come back from making 2 finals in a row and now the 3rd final, and they're able to turn this around and win, it kind of cements their legacy in the league. If Loud win, they're able to secure a 3-time CBLOL championship dynasty. Right, they're able to rewrite history in the CBLOL. Right, rewrite records. So it is a massive 4 finals. I'm sorry, it's a massive game. So much is on the line. So much pressure. And I feel for someone like Pro Delta who is so new and having to deal with this, right? So let's have a look. Let's have a look at what happens. We see a Nico, LeBlanc, and Zayaban, which shows me that, they still think that Nico is an OP champion, predominantly around their level 1s that I'm guessing. And paiN Gaming tried to replicate the success from game 3 by picking Kaiser again. Kind of the same thought process. If we play, if we'll engage, we're going to win this game. We're comfortable.
Like hard stick comp, go on target, blow it, and then just win the team fight. I think they're trying to make the same recipe, right?
Yeah, and the idea is that they think that Tristana is a Kaiser counter. They think that Tristana is a Kaiser counter, and with Xayah gone, Kaiser has no bad matchups. That's what they're essentially saying, right? Yeah. So saying, okay, I'll pick Kaiser. We think that this is the best AD carry / mid pick in the game. It also blocks LeBlanc pick technically, but obviously they don't play it here. And with LeBlanc, Nico gone, yeah, there's a Zia available, but can you guys play? I know that you guys play Xerath, right? So we're not going to take the Azir either. You guys can take the Azir. Maybe that, maybe I'll play something like an Orianna, or maybe I'll play something like, I mean, not Orianna. Orianna would be bad. Something like an Ahri, you know. Maybe I'll play something like an Ahri into your Azir. So you guys pick Azir if you want. I don't really give a crap. I'm going to ban these 2 OP champs, and I'm going to take the best AD, and I'm going to play front to back. And what Loud is saying is this. What Loud is saying is, hey guys, we just lost last game, but we just inted. Like, if we just play the same way, we just clear the wave and we play standard front to back, and we're just able to manage your early game, I think that we have better macro mid to late game. So we're just going to pick some wave clear, and we're going to pick a decent composition into the engage. So what do they immediately do? They lock in the Talia that paiN Gaming took, right? In game 3. They say, okay, you guys like the engage? Okay, then we'll play disengage. That's what they're saying. They're saying, I'm going to clear the wave with Sivir. We think that Sivir Kai'Sa is a decent matchup, because Sivir can contest Kai'Sa push, and Talia will be able to wave clear as well as kind of counter engage onto any kind of engage that you guys do. We have the best blind takeaway in the form of Renekton. So even if Sedge is gone, we're confident that this is kind of the best top laner in this series right now. It looks the best. And even if you guys pick Olaf, you guys won't have a Sejuani to go with it, so the counter picks won't look that bad. And then they end up banning the champions that outrange Talia, right? So when Azir, I mean, Azir is actually not great into Talia. I'm not sure why they ban it. Talia into Azir is actually good. So Azir gets pushed in first 4 waves. But as time goes, after first base, Talia starts to outscale and then starts getting better push and get better roam. But
I think it's because Azir can punish Sivir. It's good to do the short range of Sivir. The soldiers can deny her W and play inside. Probably was that kind of the thing they're reading.
Yeah,
I believe that.
I mean, I think it makes sense, especially since Renekton is also not great into Azir. And what they're saying is, we're going to get rid of all the long arm champions. We're going to get rid of Jace, and we're going to get rid of Azir. Because what else are you going to play then? You're going to play short range champs into us? You're going to play Ahri into Sivir and Talia? No, right? So when you guys come into us, we're comfortable. And what paiN Gaming essentially say is, you know what? You're right. But then we can play range, right? I mean, essentially, if they ban Nautilus and Trundle, they ban the counter pick into Maokai, and they also take away a really good engage champ to go with Sivir. And Nautilus is also... So go ahead. Go ahead. Did you want to say something? No? Hello? Okay, I think he DC'd, guys. Halia is maybe gone. I think his wife... I took too much of his time, so his wife is angry at him, I think. That's my guess. So basically, what they're saying is, okay, we don't want to play into longer range. And what CBLOL, so paiN Gaming is saying is that, okay, fine, then we're just going to go into you, and this is our best game, but we'll also pick a champion that outranges you. So we still have the Syndra available. And with Syndra plus Kai'Sa W, we can still play at range. We have some of the best poke in the game because Maokai is really good disengage. And while you thought we were engaging, we're actually going to be disengaging, and we're still playing a very similar style. I think that's what they're trying to say. You can talk more slow so we can traduct. Sure. So basically, slowly, Halia, are you back? Hello? Basically, slowly, what I'm trying to explain here is that he's saying his wife's still mad at him. That's why. He's saying that, I'm saying that paiN Gaming is playing comfort, and Loud is saying we have the same game plan. We will still win. We're still happy. We're still happy with our draft. And we end up seeing an Alistar. Alia's maybe back. I mean, Poppy is not great into Talia. Okay. He just typed shit 1 minute, so... Yeah. So that's essentially what you're seeing. Loud changed their composition into counter engage, into engage, and paiN Gaming changed their composition into from engage into disengage. Yeah, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, Halia.
Oh, nice. Okay, let translate something.
Yeah.
Guys, em resumo do resumo, ele foi basicamente o seguinte, que eles pegaram, a paiN foi eficaz porque já estava com Tristana e Zayaban, e eles queriam repetir a receita de short range engage com bastante CC para forçar a fight no bolar. Na segunda rotação de ban, quando tirou aquele Azir que ele o Azir o Azir e o Jace é porque eles queriam basicamente tirar long range engage, long range dano para poder fazer com que a Sivir fique mais dominante no clear wave dela e eles consigam segurar o jogo para escalar caso aconteça alguma coisa com aquele early game. É para isso que se bane o Jace Azir nessa situação. And that's it. I think I could resume like in a few sentences.
Yeah. So that's kind of the thought process. Obviously, I think the idea behind both drafts are fine. When you draft Sivir, you can play to kite, but you can also play to go in. So by picking a dual champion, they give the Talia the mobility and they give the option to go forward. Basically, the best way that I can explain this is it's a battle between sword and shield, right? paiN Gaming have opted to pull out the shield in game 4, and Loud has opted to pull out the sword of early game aggression, of engage, of counter engage. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Quem foi basicamente é que, nesse final aqui, é que a paiN tá com uma composição que luta bem junta, né? Falou do shield, escudo, que ela luta bem junta, e a Loud tem a composição para ir pra cima. Tem Alistar, tem Nock, tem Renek. Então a paiN vai jogar muito mais no short range, esperando o engage da Loud, enquanto a Loud vai tentar achar ângulos para conseguir entrar na paiN sem que a Pop consiga fazer muita coisa, ou a Rel para sair especialmente do Nock, que é o principal para chegar nos carries da paiN.
Yeah.
I just added that at the end because they think that paiN will like try to play as a shield, as you said, in special to try defend from angles and try to avoid the knock. That is the highest tool to reach in special center because she'll be like behind everyone, try to use her range, right?
But something that I don't like about this from paiN Gaming is that paiN Gaming have shown that they are comfortable with the spear. They're comfortable with the sword. They're not comfortable with the shield. They tried playing the shield and it didn't work out. So they should have really opted to stay with the engage and ban out champions that ban out or take away champions like Talia, right? So for example, when you see the game 3 draft when they look their best, why did they look their best, right? When did they look their best? They always look their best when they pick engage and they pick heavily aggressive champions with winning matchups. This is what they like, right? Even in this game where I actually think they looked good, they picked counter pick matchups and they picked champs that go in. This is when they look the best. When they look the worst is when they have to play defensive, right? When Sejuani has to be on both sides of the map. Obviously, this is an aggressive matchup too, and also they fucked up. But as a concept, they like it when they play through their bot lane and they're playing very aggressive when they're playing to engage. But they opted to take the shield just because of how draft played out.
Yeah.
And so,
honestly,
yeah,
this bring a little to the concept that we are talking about the draft. That sometimes the gap between draft winning and better draft, right?
yeah,
Sometimes your
exactly.
draft can be good to the situation, but your team won't execute has the most optimal way, right?
Yeah.
I think that was a clear case here.
So can you explain that to them too? That's, I mean, sometimes some teams are just naturally better at defending or attacking. Yeah. And I think what I've seen so far, paiN Gaming is a lot better when they can get into position first, hold a position, and then play from vision.
Acho que tá falando que é o seguinte, que eu trouxe o ponto pra ele, que isso é uma coisa que a gente fala ao longo da stream aqui, que às vezes tem a diferença entre o draft ganhador e o melhor draft. Nem sempre o draft ganhador vai ser o melhor draft, porque aqui a paiN, realmente, esse draft da paiN faz total sentido para se defender do engage da Loud e jogar no counter engage. Só que a paiN não é tão boa assim, não é o forte dessa lineup, jogar dessa maneira. Então, dessa vez, o melhor draft não foi o ganhador. Entenderam? That's it.
Yeah. So notice how in this game they have Renekton into Poppy. They have all the agency. Loud has the agency when paiN Gaming wanted the sword. And the problem here is that Loud also is better with the sword. So what paiN Gaming should have done is they should have fought either sword with sword or taken the sword themselves and forced Loud to take the shield in the draft. That's the thought process, right? You want to take away champs like Talia and pick champs like Nocturne yourself. Pick champs that dive. Whereas now I'm seeing a Syndra and then a Maokai, where that's a disengage kind of counter-engage champ, right? And a Rel that's designed to kind of counter-engage with losing lanes. So this is my problem with this draft. And, you know, what you can see here right now is just your standard 3-wave topside clear into dive top. Can you explain that?
Ele falou basicamente que que a paiN, como ele mostrou no draft anterior, a paiN tava jogando campeões mais agressivos, é que a paiN tinha que continuar isso. Se a Loud tá tentando, aspas, draftar espada, né? Eles tinham que tentar draftar junto, não deixar pegarem Thalia, pegarem Nocturne eles, ou pegar outros campeões. Porque no draft que tá desenhando aqui, tá o Mokai e a Syndra. Quando o Mokai e Syndra jogam juntos, o CC deles é muito mais usado pra tentar dar um disengage. E a Rel, ela funciona mais como. A Rel, ela pode ser engage e disengage, mas quando ela tem a luz em lane, ela funciona mais como disengage. Ela mais ou menos acompanha a matchup do DC. E nesse caso aqui seria mais pra dar disengage do que engage.
It's a nice dive, but I also think that Wiser misplayed. So when you're weak side, the two most important things is this ward and not trading HP. But what you're already seeing is a 3-wave build up and Wiser on half HP with no shield.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that Mokai should make 1 or 2 camp max bot and hover this dive?
well the problem is that Rel Kai'Sa get pushed into Alistar Sivir early levels because Alistar is really useless level 1. Whereas like Rel can threaten from bush and Kai'Sa can spam Q. And that means that while they have push, they could be vulnerable to an early Nocturne gank, right? But the thing is, I don't think Nocturne's ganks are great. And I also don't think it's easy for Nocturne to gank bot lane because Rel can W away and they have all sums, right? So I think the better game plan here would have actually been for Carriok to path top and defend top 1 turn. In general, because top is the bad matchup. Bot side can do what they want. Worst case scenario, they just play the 2v3 out. So I'm not too happy about Wiser having to 1v2 here, but I also think that he misplayed his lane. Like, first of all, he should ward this bush. If he's playing weak side, he should sit in this pocket, and he should also have like 70 to 80% HP, even if he loses CS. His job here is to like maintain HP if Maokai is pathing bot, but he doesn't. It's not like Nocturne has a great gank as well, right? So if he's playing next to his tower, it's infinitely harder to kill.
I think he tried to trade a little HP to try be equal in level and don't be level 2 on the gank probably.
Yeah.
On the dive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely a possibility as well, right? But if you feel like that you can get dove, you can also base TP, or I do think that if he hugs left side wall, this is close dive. Because he actually tries to run away from turret. So if you actually look, by doing this, when Robo tanks the tower, he's closer to the out of the tower range. So he can actually just walk out of tower range here. Watch. So he dashes out of tower range, drops aggro, and then drops aggro into Croc, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if he sits next to the left side tower, it becomes a little bit more difficult. I think he'll die anyway, to be honest. And it's probably best for Maokai to go top, but I don't think he played this dive out well. And I think as a concept, you don't want to trade HP when you're weak side. So maybe you can explain weak side and like the jungle being bot and whatnot in Brazilian while I look at the game.
A gente tá falando aqui era a possibilidade de como evitar esse dive. Aí a gente tava falando um pouquinho que o Wiser perdeu muito HP. E provavelmente ele perdeu esse HP porque ele queria manter o level 3 junto com o Renek pra ter mais recursos pra defender o dive. Mas o principal era que talvez o Carioca já fazer esse primeiro pathing pra defender essa possibilidade de dive caso o path do Croc seja. Porque já é muito difícil um Nock fazer um dive, mas quando tá assim tão free, ele pode fazer. Porque em tese o Nock tem que rushar level 6. Mas assim ele pode levar porque tá muito free. Então poderia ou o Carioca ter feito o primeiro path pra defender esse dive. Ou o Wiser ter dado tradeado pra pegar level 3 da BTP, volta full HP, fica com TP de desvantagem, azar, mas pelo menos não morre nessa situação. E agora morreu de novo. That's it.
This trade is not good because he loses 6 minions of EXP and gold. Right?
Yeah.
He loses 6 minions of EXP and gold. So it's not easy, I would say. Right? It's not easy. I'm sorry guys, I can't read Brazilian.
Guys, gente, ele fala zero português, tá? Tipo,
I'm sorry. Use Google. I mean, I will like.
Do you want me to translate one of the message? There is like an opinion here. He said, Rudy, he said, I think that the top is balanced, but the gap in mid jungle, it's absurd. Team is 100 times better than Jinkedo, and Carioca always suffer gap from Croc. I don't think that is that much, but Loud know how to punish. Is different.
I think paiN is a good team from what I can see. They just needed. I mean, there's a world, guys, that paiN could have won this final. I just think that the game plan was lacking, and some of their like mid game macro, especially around objectives, was the issue, right? Loud have their clear issues too. Like they don't find enemy jungle effectively. I don't think their lanes are particularly that strong either. I think laning is not the strength of Loud. The strength of paiN Gaming is laning this game. Look at the way the game's gone. Almost every game except this game, Loud have lost lane. Right? But when Wiser doesn't get counter pick, when they're not drafting for counter pick, I think they get a lot worse.
And basicamente que ele não acha a paiN um time ruim, tem bons jogadores individuais, mas a Loud é superior. Entretanto, não é como se a Loud fosse tão dominante. E aí ele falou que a Loud tem algumas dificuldades em achar o jungle adversário, né? Finding the other jungle, achar o jungle adversário. E na lane, se eles não. Na lane, a gente tá falando da bot lane, se não tem um counter matchup, eles não conseguem jogar tão bem.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm just watching. So you see a nice little counter gank from Croc on bot side. I think the idea behind going bot was they have a bounce wave, but what Carrioc should be doing is basically they're behind. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Guys, once again, thank you so much for all the follows and all the subs. Hey Nico, thank you so much for the sub, man. I appreciate all the follows, guys. I mean, what I'm seeing here is, I mean, I can show you if you want. I can show you guys the lanes. Let's quickly go over how the lane phase went. When paiN is getting counter pick like Malphite into Nara and lane phase and whatnot, they're not really winning lane. Like the only difference that I saw in lane this game or in this series was bot lane. I think SeeEl and Root have better 2v2. I think they have a much better 2v2 in terms of like what I've seen, right? So I agree that bot lane there is like a gap in lane, but I don't think it's that big. And when they normally get counter pick, like obviously this game, the gap was big, but look at the third game, right? You're not seeing the game blow up from lane phase. You're seeing the game blow up from bad objective play and bad control of vision, right? And this game like is very similar. This game is not necessarily, I think this game, there was an issue in topside lane, but 3 out of 4 games, I think Wiser had Robo's match, at least in lane phase. And then Robo outplayed him in mid-late game. Like Robo found the opportunity to deep push. Robo found the opportunity to play the map better. And that's where they're getting leads. They're able to stay calm and they're able to delay the game. That's the problem, right? And like even this gank is just another example. So Loud are obviously ahead. Nocturne has 2 assists, so he has a lot of EXP. So here, level 6 at 7 minutes, which is really fast, right?
Yes.
So from paiN Gaming perspective, they need push out, so they need cover, but they should never go in first.
Yeah, I hardly believe that they have to push, try to force the bounce back, then send Maokai top so he can get his level 6, then they can try something on the Herald or make a good cross map of dive on bot.
Yeah. This is not their turn to get vision. This is their turn for Maokai to sit in lane and help push out. Right? Yeah. But they end up trading HP with a level disadvantage and they trade 1 for 2, right? This is macro. And you see the same thing across the board, like general trade. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, is right now like after this play on bot, they know that the Maokai will when he respawn. I don't know if he got level 6 on the wave of the minions on the bot or not, or if he's still level 5, but he's still level 5. They could easily now match him on the top side when he respawn, when he go to top side. So he appear level 5, knowing that the jungle, the Croc is level 6, make this even worse because now he got the tracking, he know where he will be, and have the level advantage.
Well, I don't think it's just, yeah. I mean, I agree with that. But there are people saying, do you think it's like a macro issue? I don't think it's just a macro issue. I think both teams are not playing macro the best. It's more so that Loud is really decisive around objectives. And they know how to play around vision. Right? So every single objective, even when paiN takes control, Loud is pulling the trigger and finding good angles to fight. Right? So the issue with paiN is how they play around the objective and how to control vision. I'll give you examples, guys. Okay, like look at 14 minutes in game 1. Okay, this is minute 14 game 1. First dragon, paiN get control, right? paiN has better vision control here, but what do? They let Croc fight from bot side, then they play on fight, and let's look at 14 minutes in this game. Same thing, right? Look, paiN has control. paiN has control. But Loud retake through bot and play with Xerath. They play the team fights better. They're way more decisive. They know what to do. What paiN Gaming should be doing is they should not hit the dragon. They should stop Sejuani from coming in. paiN needs to know. paiN either needs someone that can help them pull the trigger in lane, or paiN needs someone to teach them how to play these objectives better. That's number 1. And number 2, I think their draft plan needs to be way more solidified. So what is the strength of paiN Gaming, and what is the strength of paiN Gaming's players? For me, when I see Wiser, I want to give Wiser counter pick, which is what their kind of identity was all game, right? Playing 3 of the tops, they're giving counter pick. So I would want a weak side on bot side, and I would want to give Wiser resources in lane to snowball the game from early game, and I would teach them how to play the game from early game. This is, I think, a very important part of their game. And same for the game 3, guys. Look at what happens when Wiser gets a counter pick and he gets early kills. The game snowballs out of control, right from top. But every time, Loud is, I mean, I've worked with Croc, so I know how he is, right? He's so decisive around objectives. They know exactly when to go in. They don't play it perfectly. But it doesn't matter if it's Robo's fault. I mean, was it Robo's fault all day? Right? And so this is kind of what I want to see. And it's the same here, right? It has nothing to do with one particular player or lane phase. I think, as I said, Root and SeeEl has been playing better this game in this series. But it's all about how Nocturne, Nocturne is able to find the 3v2, or how they're able to start a 2v3 in their first fight, right? Like, look. When this is happening, they're coordinating dives better. They're already calling, hey guys, I'm coming. Croc is saying, I'm coming. Fight. 2v3. Right? We have advantage. We have some advantage. And then he's saying, go rel. He should go Kai'Sa, but it's fine. Go rel. Burn rel flash. I mean, actually, he should go rel. I thought that Kai'Sa had no flash. Then they trade 1 for 2. I mean, it's not going to be like that every game, but I think in general, they really need, they need to understand their identity. I think paiN want early game aggression. They want lane counter pick. They want things that lets them take control and vision. Did you want to say something?
No, I think the worst of the play here that showed the bot again, because when they make the play, the wave was even crashing against the road, so they will be able to probably to manipulate the wave after the Kai'Sa die, and the Kai'Sa will have to expose herself out flash against the Alistar with Hextech and probably the Bush lane dominance, and play like on the wave around Severe turret if she wanted. That would be very bad.
Yeah. So when this happens, the game is very hard from this point. Because, as I said, if you start building a lead early, it's really not easy to play the topside matchup and to play team fights, and for Syndra to do damage. And Nocturne is a really great pick here, right? So in general, I'm seeing a lot of issues around, around objectives and vision. So if you can later, please react to Loud's perfect game against paiN. Well, not today. I think we'll stop here. I think that's enough for today, yeah?
Yeah, guys, vocês não sabem, mas a gente mora... where are you living around? In Berlin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, o seu, ele vive em Berlim, eu vivo em Portugal. Pra gente aqui já é quase meia-noite, tá? Pra vocês são 7h40. Pra gente já é meia-noite, então tem o gapzinho de time aí que tá pesado pra gente, tá? I just said that the time zone.
Yeah, can you explain? It's 1 a.m., but I really wanted to stream in Brazilian to say thank you. And thank you so much for the support.
1 a.m. for you? For me, it's midnight. For you, it's 1+, right?
Yeah. But could you tell him?
Ok. Ele falou, pô, que tá adorando fazer esse stream aqui pra vocês. Apesar do time zone, porque pra ele é 1 da manhã. Pra mim é meia-noite, gente. Pra ele é 1 da manhã, já, em Berlim. E pra mim, em Portugal, aqui em Lisboa, é meia-noite. Acho que ele tá adorando a receptividade que teve, o carinho de vocês. É algo, tipo, muito maneiro pra parte dele. E tá agradecendo de coração.
Thank you so much for the follows, guys, and thank you so much for the sub, Kexi. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna raid. I Will Dominate. Thank you so much for watching again. Please go say hi. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are amazing. Maybe next time I will watch Loud Worlds because I'm not in Worlds this year.
Me
so
too.
please,
If you wanna make another collab, we can do it.
What do you guys think? Should we watch Loud play Worlds? I know, guys. I know that paiN fans hate Loud, but I need you guys to understand that you guys are Brazilian, right? So you need to root for the Brazilians.
Yeah, support the region.
Yeah, support the region.
Guys, vocês querem que a gente faça mais collabzinho durante o mundial? I took my vacation days already towards the playing days, so I can stream or make the collab with you, no problem.
Guys, Brazilian fans are crazy. They're like 5K viewers if they were watching Loud.
I don't know, but
and paiN is like 5K viewers if they watch paiN. Haha. No, 6K viewers. Aha. Loud 5K, paiN 6K. Aha. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you.
Valeu, gente. Tchau, tchau.